Hi, Rhianna Patrick with a Triple J News update. The Nationals leader John Anderson says he feels vindicated by a police investigation which has found no charges should be laid in relation to bribery claims made against him by independent federal MP Tony Windsor. Mr Anderson has welcomed the finding.
Well, I have to say to you, it's not a surprise. There's no surprise in it for me because there couldn't. I do not see any circumstances under which there could have been a claim of corruption made.
The federal police have now concluded their investigations into the allegation. Cyclist Mark French, who accused several teammates of injecting banned substances, has been bashed at a South Melbourne hotel on Sunday night. The incident came several days after a report on the final part of an inquiry into his allegations was tabled in federal parliament. His father, David French, believes the attack may be related to the tabling of the report.
I've never known of an attack like this where nothing is said. The guy takes one punch and is on the horse and is bolting virtually as soon as he's landed the punch. It's quite strange.
The inquiry cast doubts on French's allegations and cleared most of his teammates. The outgoing US Secretary of State, Colin Powell, says he's confident that planned Palestinian elections in January to choose a successor to Yasser Arafat will proceed smoothly. Mr Powell says he's also pleased with the cooperation promised by Israel to allow the Palestinians freedom of movement and access to vote freely. Meanwhile, the Israeli military has formally charged an officer accused of riddling the body of a 13-year-old Palestinian schoolgirl with bullets after his fellow soldiers had killed her. Military police investigating the death of the girl in the southern Gaza Strip last month arrested the company commander 3 weeks ago after finding his account of the incident was false. The Australian Federal Police have confirmed they've provided information to Indonesian authorities in Bali on a Perth yachtsman being held on suspicion of gun running. Chris Packer was detained after 4 rifles, a pistol and ammunition were discovered on his boat. Family spokesman Paul Downey says Mr Packer's lawyers are negotiating bail, a process which could take days.
Everyone is working very cooperatively and working through what's a bit of a complicated position at the moment.
Kiev City Council has refused to recognise the results of Ukraine's presidential runoff and has urged the nation's parliament to follow suit. 2 other cities have proclaimed the opposition leader the winner, even though official results appear to hand victory to his pro-Russian rival. 2 sport and fast bowler Jason Gillespie has backed Australian selectors' plans to rotate their pacemen to save them from test burnout ahead of next year's Ashes cricket series in England. And that's the latest news. You're listening to Triple J.
Cue the brutal music. I'm going to shut up and play you some music.
How does Ramstein like to party, Richard?
Aren't you buggered after playing last night and now you're doing a poster run right after the show from Adelaide to Neil?
Goodbye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you, Richard. Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye, Rosie.
Triple J.
Everything is perfect now. I don't wanna make a movement. I'm too scared to breathe. I might do something wrong as you're sleeping silently. Perfect beauty lay before me. I feel every second is a lifetime love. It's a place I've been before. A place some say I should go more, but every journey just leads me too far away. When I just wanted to stay, I just wanted to stay. So that's why I won't wake
Oh, you're on Triple J. That's Sarah Blasco and Perfect Now. She brought the whole orchestra in just to do that song. We thank you very much for that, Sarah. Off the overture and the underscore. 7 minutes past 6. Adam and Will with you. 4 shows to go for the 4th last time ever. I say good morning and welcome to Triple J Breakfast with Adam and Will.
Word.
Mofos. Okay. Adjective.
What's up, my
Verb.
niggas?
Noun. Brothers. Subjunctive.
Sentence, motherfuckers.
Subjunctive clause. Sisters.
You know what ever goes with anything more than word, do they?
No.
They never double it up.
No.
They never go phrase, mofo.
It's not specific enough for my liking word.
Really?
I go verb.
Really?
So it's a doing word,
Yep.
man.
Doing word.
Verb. It's a doing word.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Paragraph, mofo.
I sometimes go gerund.
Gerund, really?
Gerund.
Is that right?
Yeah. Doesn't get much of a reaction, but for those who understand it,
Yeah.
they go word.
Oh, mate, when I'm with my posse,
Yeah.
when I'm with my posse and I just want to say...
Which is a noun, of
Yeah,
course.
when I'm with my posse and I want to say, what's up?
Yeah.
I just say to them, I say participle.
Really?
Yeah.
Participle.
Participle.
Wow.
Yeah.
You ever say preposition?
Sometimes.
Not
but,
not at the end of a sentence.
I'm more a supposition guy than a
Really?
preposition guy, yeah.
Really? Predicate?
I love some predicate.
Past pluperfect? I don't remember what past pluperfect is, but past pluperfect is one of the tenses of a word.
If I was a rapper,
Yeah.
that's certainly one I'd drop in.
Past pluperfect?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
In fact, that might even be the name of my album.
Really?
Yeah, the Wordmeister is past pluperfect.
Past pluperfect.
Just because it'd be tough for radio announcers.
Sure.
You know, like I'd love to just drop that in. I'd be like, sentence, mofo, here's my new album. It's called Past Pluperfect.
If there's anyone out there...
Wordmeister.
If there's anyone out there who has studied... So I came across past pluperfect in Latin, because they've got all their cases and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Give
like
us 1-800, aren't they?
The lats.
Aren't they? Those
Those Latins.
Those lats.
Seriously.
1-800...
Go back to where you came from, your Latins.
1-800-536. You go back to your cradle of civilization.
Yeah, exactly.
1-800...
We invented everything.
1-800-536. If you can tell me what past pluperfect is. That's our quiz for this morning.
Yep.
And up next, we'll talk about tomorrow's quiz. Our final ever celebrity quiz, because it is...
It's big.
9
Did you
past...
just choke? You're
No,
right.
I was just describing it as...
Was that Klingon?
Yes.
Are you speaking Klingon today?
That's Klingon for past pluperfect.
Right.
6 past 9 or 9 past 6 on the J's.
So I have to hold your tongue.
Here's Bentley Rhythm
My
Ace.
wallet in your mouth or something.
Theme from Gutbuster.
Get up and move your butt, feel the music in your butt. Get up and move your butt, you got to feel it in your gut. Get up and move your butt, feel the music in your butt. Get up and move your butt, you got to feel it in your gut. Get up and move your butt, you got to feel it in your gut. Get up and move your butt, you got to feel it in your gut. Get up and move your butt, feel the music in your butt. Get up and move your butt, feel the music in your gut.
Yeah, Bentley Rhythm Ace and a bit of the theme from Gutbuster on Triple J, where it is 13 past 6. Let's have a look at episode 24. Only 24 episodes of the weather to go. It's moving towards a climax. Townsville, some showers today. And Triple J pumping out on 105.5 FM. 30 degrees. I've just discovered the webpage that's got all the different Triple J frequencies. We're going to make it till Friday. Brisbane a shower at 2:25. Newcastle showers this morning at 21. Sydney a few showers, 21. Canberra dry and 23. Hobart fine and 18. Adelaide fine and 27. Perth a thundery shower today and 34. Darwin a storm today and 33. Alice Springs fine and 33. Melbourne fine and 20 degrees. We've got Deb on the line. How are you going, Deb from Melbourne?
Yeah, good.
Good to hear, Deb. Now, what have you got for us? Pluperfect.
Pluperfect is the past before another past.
What do you mean?
Well, you've got past anterior, which is the past that happened just before another past.
Yep.
For example...
Yes, I'd strongly suggest we have some examples.
Dumb it down.
Oh, you don't need examples?
No.
Give us an example.
Give us an example.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay. So
Well, Will and I don't, but some of the listeners might.
when we paid, we went. That's past anterior.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, so something that just recently happened. We paid, then we went.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay, good. I like it.
So one's a recent past and then a past that was just before that.
Yep.
And then pluperfect is like a really far past that you don't specify exactly when, but it is before the other past.
So you say, I'd already had a shower by the time you got there.
Yeah, or we'd seen those buildings which had already been built.
There are.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Excellent.
So is that past pluperfect?
Pluperfect is past pluperfect.
Oh, right.
We had an old Latin teacher who used to start talking past pluperfect.
When pluperfect is actually past pluperfect already.
Pluperfect.
So he was
past
making
perfect.
a tautology, you could say.
Past
so a tautology
pluperfect.
is past pluperfect is actually a tautology.
Exactly.
Right. Which is when you say something that's already
Yeah,
been
like
said.
a round circle.
Yeah.
Exactly. Irritating American.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for that, Deb.
Incompetent ALP
Exactly.
senator.
Thank you, Deb.
Beautiful, no worries.
6:15 on the Jays. All making sense. You understand now, Wilhelm?
Yeah, I always understood, dude.
You always knew the difference.
I don't know why you're talking. I don't know why you're talking to me.
You did.
I got 100 in HSC English.
Did you really?
I did actually, yes.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. Did you talk about past pluperfects?
No.
Well, there you go.
No, I didn't actually know that.
There you go.
I managed to get 100. I got 100 in. The two subjects got 100 in my HSC were English and English Lit. And I had no idea what past pluperfect is. So quite clearly,
there you go.
You don't need to know it, kids.
No, exactly.
Is the point I'm trying to make.
Bizarrely, you need to know it if you want to speak Latin.
I didn't do Latin.
Well, there you go.
In English.
No, funny. That all make. Well, you were taught by the right people, weren't you?
Yeah, I think they nailed it at my school.
As opposed to the guy who taught us in Latin in Year 7 who was talking to us about past pluperfects, when pluperfect would have done. 6:15. Now, talking about the big questions, quizzes, tomorrow, our final ever Wednesday morning superstar celebrity quiz. Who have we got? Who's in the blocks? Who's fired up, pumped and ready to go?
Oh, it's the big one. Well, look, there was a man who made this quiz. There was a man who made the quiz his own. In the same way as, I guess, Casey Donovan, grabbed Australian Idol and said, you know what, this competition belongs to me. In the same way as Michael Clark, since he's come in the Australian Test team, just stepped up and went, you know what, I'm the star now.
I'm the future of Australian cricket.
I'm the future of Australian cricket.
So tomorrow, do we have the person who is the future of the 6:30 quiz?
I think so. The person who's really made it their own with some fantastic performances.
Whoa.
Anthony Sumbati.
Performances, plural. The man who's been in here 3 times.
Yep. Sumbati is back for his 4th quiz.
Sumbati 4.
Sumbati 4.
The final showdown.
Sumbati 4 Citizens on Patrol.
God, isn't it going to test our listeners to come up with a pun name?
Sumbati 4, this time it's personal. Well, this time it's still personal. Yeah, it's still personal.
We've gone through so many.
It's my Sumbati and I'll cry if I want to, which of course was the famous quiz.
The Anthony Sumbati party. Somebody's going to pay for this, I think was one of them. Don't you want somebody to love?
Don't you want somebody to love? That was one.
Oh, gee, that's going to...
So it's going to be a tough one, listeners.
You've got 24 hours, listeners, to come up with irritating, amusing or silly puns on the name Anthony Sumbati, who will be the subject of our final ever 6:30 celebrity quiz. Phoning in or coming in live?
He's coming in live.
No.
Oh, no, it was hard to know. Look, obviously he had some pretty intense media commitments that he had to clear up.
Yeah.
To be able to come in.
Sure. But he's free. The Sumbati. The man who goes to the toilet 5 times a day. Previous question, quiz 2.
What, once a day?
Has 5 toilets in his house. Previous question, quiz. Drives a 4-wheel drive. Previous question. There's nothing left to ask.
but he just wants his daddy to be proud of him.
17 past 6.
Just be proud of me, Daddy.
On the J.
I've been on the quiz more times than anyone else. Could you just be proud of me?
Here's the John Butler Trio. Something's got to give.
My gut that I get up late. When I think about this cats running the world with hate, I say something got to give. Got the whole world fighting for the Texas tea. Got a little for you, I got a little for me, but the kettle's leaking like a sieve. Now there's a puddle on the floor, there's a puddle in the sky. The kettle's leaking so much, the man's burning my eyes, yeah. Can't we just throw that damn power out? And on the subject of throwing stuff away, I know some deaf men who can't hear a word we say, no matter how loud we do shout. And I say, something gotta give right now. Something gotta give right now for you. Something gotta give right now, man. But something gotta give right now. I was reading the newspaper just yesterday. Got the headlines reading, God bless the USA. And I thought, God bless everyone. God bless the people in New York when they were attacked. God bless the children being bombed there in Iraq. God bless the goddamn junkie with the monkey on his back. God bless everybody under the sun. Because the road ahead of land if we don't got love. You can drive a pay a head to the guy above. But eventually the only guarantee will be that the tea in your tank for a drive. Because without love, you know there ain't no life. You can duplicate and bottle it up for you like it. Doesn't mean we're gonna get another try. I'll get another try, boy.
It is 21 past 6 on the J's. Adam and Will with you. John Butler. Something's got to give. Well, someone who wants a bit of something is Nick from Croydon who's on the line. How you going, Nick?
Not too bad. How are you, Adam?
Good, thanks, mate. Why have you called us this morning?
I was just wondering what happened on Get to Know Zoe yesterday.
Did you miss it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Our last one for the year.
Surely you put it on the net, on the webpage, Zoe. Have you downloaded it on the webpage?
Are you a big Get to Know Zoe fan, Nick?
Oh, I try and listen to it every week.
Oh, no.
I woke up at 7:50. You're talking to Andrew Denton. I just thought, oh, no, I've missed it.
What have you done, Nick?
Man.
Oh, it was an absolute...
I'm going to be stuck with this all morning.
She dropped an absolute bombshell, too, that we'll get to in just a second. Zoe said something in Get to Know Zoe yesterday that completely... And I mean, we know her reasonably well. We work with her all the time. We're used to her, should we say, eccentricities. But we were absolutely stunned when she revealed on this show yesterday at 20 to 7...
that a couple of weeks ago she'd been out drinking with New South Wales Supreme Court Judge Jeff Shaw.
Yeah.
And she'd been going him 2-1.
Yep.
And she was actually driving.
Yep. That's why Jeff was so embarrassed about the blood sample.
The weird thing was the blood sample that she'd got. Zoe actually took it out of the hospittal.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a Bloody Mary. She wanted to have a really strong high alcohol content Bloody Mary.
The weird thing was they took the blood sample from Zoe.
Yeah.
And it ended up being Justice Jeff Shaw's blood, and that's where it got. That's why they got weird, and they had to cover it up. It was
What were you doing, Zoe?
Oh, but that was
Were you involved in some sort of drunken blood transfusion thing?
Vampire sort of.
No, I know that like,
hemophiliac.
the kids are the kicky stuff these days. But
weird gear.
You just
I've only
Kids,
get to know his always to miss.
I know, Nick.
Seriously,
It's the
kids,
big
if you're
one.
out there, don't have someone else's blood in you.
No.
It's just not fun.
It
It's
seems
not cool.
Seems cool.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure
Seems
it seems cool.
trendy.
I'm sure when Jeff brings the idea up, says, "Hey, do you want to swap blood?" It seems like, "Hey, that'll be a blast.
Exactly.
That'll be fun."
But just
I was
'cause-
thinking about getting a kebab, but some blood swapping would be awesome.
Just because he's wearing a wig and
Yeah.
holding a gavel,
Yeah.
don't do it,
Exactly,
kids.
Exactly.
Sorry about that, Nick. What we will do, mate, is send you an Adam and Will exclusive from the House of Spence designer T-shirt.
Oh, thanks.
And we'll get DJ ZJ to sign it in Jeff Shaw's blood
Yeah.
for you, okay?
Thanks, Adam.
No trouble at all, mate. Have a good day.
You too.
6 on the Jays. Now, the only way you can get these T-shirts, these are absolute limited edition Adam and Will, the last show ever T-shirts. They'll be available this Friday from our last show ever at Manning Bar, the University of Sydney, from 6 till 9, a packed final show. Or we'll give them away during the week to people who make fantastic suggestions for Talkback. We'll be asking for tripod suggestions after 6:30. The best of those might get yourselves a T-shirt. They are absolute one-offs. And this Friday...
When you say one-offs?
One-offs.
A limited range.
A limited range of one-offs.
Yep.
Well, you're unlikely to get more than one. Unless you've got 3 really good suggestions for tripod. But you know what I'm saying.
Or unless you got $60 on
Yeah,
Friday.
You know what I'm saying. Anyway, this Friday, you thought that was a bombshell.
Yeah.
DJ ZJ and the whole blood swapping
Yeah, the blood
fiasco
swapping
with
with
Jeff
Jeff
Shaw.
Shaw.
You bang, this Friday at about 8:30, I'm going to drop a bombshell.
What?
On our final...
You're coming back next year.
On our final
Without
ever...
me.
On our final ever episode of Triple J Breakfast with Adam and Will.
Really?
Bombshell gets dropped.
You're gay.
At about 20 past.
You've been
8.
faking the eye thing.
About...
You've been faking the eye thing for years.
One don't go well on radio. Here we go. Oh!
You actually hate maths.
It's 24 past 6 on
What's
the
the
Jays. Here's Good Shirt and Buck It Up.
November is Triple J's Australian Music Month.
And this weekend, it's all Australian music, all weekend.
People walking straight and narrow down illusionary lines.
There'll be a special J-File on the Hilltop Hoods.
It's an all-Australian Net 50. And if that's not enough excitement, you can catch Robbie Buck selecting his fave Australian videos as part of Rage on ABC TV.
And you know there were heaps good. We've been waiting for so long for that sunshine.
Get carried off with Australian music this month on Triple J.
How cool. Robbie Buck's selecting his favourite Australian videos. I love that stuff. Any idea what's on the Buckster's favourite Australian video selections?
Yeah, he likes What About Me by Moving Pictures.
Right, okay.
And Shannon Knowles, What About Me.
Yeah.
He likes rock and roll music from the Young Einstein.
Oh, really?
Remember when Yahoo Serious was playing Young Einstein, and he did that rock and roll gig where he invented an electric guitar, and he was on the back porch, and he was singing rock and roll music, and the guy from the Deltones was there.
Pee-wee.
Yeah. That's one of Bucky's favourites.
He also likes an Aussie video that came third on last year's Australia's Funniest Home Videos that he thought was a bit unlucky.
He loves that.
He's going to play that.
Yeah, he loves that. He loves that Kylie Minogue movie, Cut.
Yes.
He loves that.
And Mimi McPherson.
He loves Mimi's video.
They're all selected.
He's got this one that looks like the chick from Home and Away.
It's weird. It's on
He's got some excellent videos.
It is 6:28 on the Joes. Why don't we play another Adam and Will tribute track? People have been just ripping into the grab bag, going crazy, stitching stuff up. This is Adam and Will Farewell the Dork mix. Not as in Farewell the Dork, but Farewell, brackets. The Dork mix. At 6:29 on the Joes. News headlines next. You know it. We're going down.
He turned on his radio, as he did every morning, to listen to Adam and Will. But it wasn't Adam and Will.
I've often regretted that.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Sorry. Door opens. You know it. Never say Dom.
Last time we ever played on air.
Excellent. You know it. You know it. Dork. You know it.
Wriggle your hips.
The proof. You can't handle the proof.
The world is a pretty fun place.
Dork.
Don't let the sea hunts get you down.
It is 6:29 on the Jays. Don't let the sea hunts get you down. Here's the news headlines.
Hi, Rhianna Patrick with Triple J News Headlines. The Commonwealth Director of Public Prosecution says no charges will be laid in relation to the bribery claims raised by independent federal MP Tony Windsor. The US Secretary of State says he's confident next year's Palestinian elections will run smoothly after Israel agreed to allow free movement of voters. Meanwhile, an Israeli soldier accused of continually shooting the body of an already dead Palestinian schoolgirl has been charged. The federal police have provided information to Indonesian authorities about a Perth yachtsman being held in Bali on suspicion of gun running. And Australian cyclist Mark French, who accused several teammates of injecting banned substances, is undergoing treatment after being bashed at a South Melbourne hotel on Sunday night.
Yeah, Mark French is actually now being treated by some of the best vets in the country.
Oh, really?
He's lucky he didn't break his leg because they would have had to take him behind a screen and...
Exactly. No, he's being looked after by the same people that got Maccabi Diva back and ready for the Melbourne Cup.
He's on an intravenous drip of cubes of sugar and apples. He should be fine.
Oats.
Exactly.
He'll be all right.
He'll be up and being ridden in days.
Now, Rhianna Patrick, late breaking news from the newsroom. Of course, you're appearing live on stage this Friday.
Yeah,
at our big live show at the Manning Bar, University of Sydney.
If you want to check out what the beautiful voice looks like in person.
You're reading the news. You're reading the headlines on the half hour. And the word from the newsroom is that there's a bit of a push there for you to maybe, after you've done one of the news reads, do some of this booty dancing. Because we've heard a lot about it. We've heard a lot about you getting it down.
The talk. Time to dance the dance,
shaking
Patrick.
it around. What have you got? Find out this Friday.
Time to do the rump shaker.
Manning Bar, University of Sydney.
Come on, get it out and let it fly.
Rhianna Patrick gets down.
I don't think Australia's ready for that just yet.
Hey, I think I'm ready for you, Jelly. Adam, can you handle this? Will, can you handle this?
Can't touch
Zoe,
this.
Can you handle this?
It is.
Oh, I think we can handle this.
28-7 on the Jays. Here's Gecko from the UK, a little track called Love. That's Gecko on Triple J. Actually, the guy Jonathan White from Groove Armada is the Gecko. That track's called Love. It's 24-7. Our final ever tripod song on our challenge happens after 7 o'clock. This is your last chance ever, peeps, to give us some suggestions. They're going to have to be bloody crackers. 1-800-536, 1-800-536. The best ones that we end up making into the tripod challenge all get one of the limited edition Adam and Will House of Spence designer T-shirts. You've seen these tees.
No, I haven't.
You've seen the picture that's going on the front of the tees.
No, I haven't.
Well, trust me.
Are they good?
Oh.
Somebody should have run that by me, shouldn't they?
No, well, I've just got back from Thailand where we're banging them out in the factory.
Right.
And,
those kids are working hard.
The workmanship.
Tell you what, like those kids, those Thai kids, they work till their fingers bleed, and for nothing.
The workmanship.
The kids of Australia could have a look.
They do it because they believe in Adam and
the
Will.
product.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Bit of pride.
Seriously, and so many of them in that little shed.
1-800-536, 1-800-536. If you've got a suggestion for tripod, here's the bank holidays and tread easy.
I was taller than I'd ever been. Now I'm no smaller than I seem. Oh yeah. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
It is 20 to 7 on the Jays. Adam and Will with you. We are looking for tripod suggestions for our final tripod song in an hour challenge ever. The bank holidays there and tread easy. Let's see who we've got. We've got Penny from Macquarie Uni on the line. How you going, Penny?
Pretty good.
Now, I know you have an allegiance with Macquarie Uni, but you'll be heading to the University of Sydney this Friday to see the final ever Adam and Will show, yeah?
Oh, I actually will. Yep, definitely.
Good on you. Just don't wear your Macquarie Uni uniform.
Oh,
because things
really?
could get ugly. Oh,
that's not good?
Oh, gee, traditional enemies.
Yeah?
Oh,
Are
yeah.
they really?
Oh, well, I might just
Wouldn't
have
Uni
to.
in New South Wales and Sydney Uni be traditional
I
enemies?
think everyone hates Sydney Uni.
Right,
I went
okay.
to Uni in New South Wales last night, and yeah, they weren't too nice.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
I mean, we were playing touch footy, so
What would-
I don't think they were supposed to be.
Sure. What would you... Oh, no. Touch footy's never meant to be pleasant. What would you like thrown into the Tripod Song of an Hour challenge, Penny?
I'm learning French at the moment. I have my exam tomorrow.
Ooh.
So I thought if they whacked in some French words.
Yeah, as many French words as possible I'd like to see, Penny. That's a
I want
good
them
one.
to just French it up. None of these fake French words either.
To help you with your French final tomorrow.
Yeah, in your face, Tripod.
We'll put you on hold and give you a Triple J Adam and Will T-shirt. Well done.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
We've got John from Tassie on the line. How you going, John?
Good, mate. How are you?
Very well, thanks. What would you like thrown into the Tripod Song of an Hour challenge?
How Casey Donovan, our Australian Idol, was mistaken for a gay porn website.
Oh, wasn't that funny?
Yeah, instead of putting the ad in the Telstra newspaper for caseydonovan.com.au, they just put caseydonovan.com.
Who was a massive male
gay porn star.
Of the 80s.
And you know what? When you say massive, I had a look at that website yesterday. He was massive.
Okay, so if someone or somehow can be mistaken for a massive
gay porn star.
We'll put you on hold there, John. You're going to get a T-shirt. Congratulations. On line one, who have we got there?
That's Jason.
How are you, Jason?
Oh, good morning, fellas.
What have you got for us, mate?
You know that cartoon Astro Boy?
Yes.
Had the butt lasers?
Yeah.
Astro Boy's butt lasers.
Astro Boy butt lasers in there.
A butt laser.
That's good.
What did the butt laser do, John? Is that Jason, sorry?
Can't you remember Astro Boy's butt lasers?
No, I don't.
When Astro Boy wanted to shoot at people, he would kind of like bend over and the bullets would come out of his bum.
Excellent work. We'll put you on hold there, Jason.
Cheers.
Can't imagine how that's going to get connected with the gay porn website. But anyway, we've got Anna from Bendigo on the line. Anna, what's your suggestion for the Tripod Song of an Hour challenge?
Well, one of the symptoms for back injury is in males, they get an erection.
Really?
Yeah.
Accidental erection related to back injuries?
Yeah.
Really? How do you know that?
Well, my teacher told me.
Okay, well, there you go. You're doing first aid, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, you've got to be careful about that. Okay,
right. So... when you say your first aid teacher told you that, not your PE teacher.
Okay.
Well, he's my PE teacher as well.
Okay, we're going to move on, Anna.
Yes.
We're going to put you on. Congratulations, mate. Stay on the line. You won an Adam and Will last time T-shirt, okay?
Thanks, guys.
No trouble at all. So far, we've got first aid tells you that back injuries give unwanted erections.
Okay.
So, some French, please, for Penny. She's got her final exam.
Bangload of French.
Being mistaken for a gay porn superstar.
Yeah, someone mistaken for a gay porn superstar.
Casey Donovan was. Butt lasers.
Yeah, Astro Boy's butt lasers.
Absolutely, Adam and Will. This is our final ever Tripod Song.
Yeah, let's do one more.
Throw
Why
one
not?
in. Okay, we've got, let's see, Mal from Oatley on the line. How you going, Mal?
I'm going real well. How are you guys?
Very well, thanks. What issue would you like dealt with in tripods?
There is still no national feng shui standard.
Oh!
Are you serious?
Oh,
yeah.
what?
You can get two practitioners in on the same day and they'll give you a totally different reading. That table there, no, mate, that's bad. That table there.
Bullshit,
And I
Mal.
want it standardised.
Understandably, Mel. How are you
Where are
meant?
the ACCC on this one?
How are you meant to control the dragon's spirit?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly it.
How
He
can you
comes
lock-
in and he says, mate, I'm really confused. You don't even conform to a known national standard. Where's your AS confirmation number?
Where's your certification, dude?
Exactly.
Where are your papers, feng shui master?
I'm saying, oh, sorry, dragon.
Exactly.
Are you accredited and registered
Next
with the
thing-
local council, feng shui lord?
Next thing you know,
That's it.
Next thing you know, the wind spirit is just racing down your corridor.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Okay.
You know.
Where's your TAFE papers, feng shui expert?
Mel,
That's it.
Mel, we'll put you on hold. We'll send you one of the Adam and Will T-shirts, and the
Thank
feng
you.
shui's been done on the T-shirt. It's great.
Beautiful.
Two
To a
holes,
national standard.
one each side for the
wonderful.
arms. See, speak to you soon, Mel. I get the impression Mel could have rung on Tell It Like It Is Friday last Friday.
I get the impression Mel may have been a hold since Tell It Like It Is Friday.
It's about 16 to 7 on the J. So that's our Tripod Song of an Hour challenge,
Wow,
the final one. Here's Granddaddy, AM 180. You're with Adam and Will.
doing anything here. Just doing nothing. About things important to us, like whatever. We'll defuse bombs, walk marathons, and take on whatever together.
Here. You may have heard last Friday morning that Mark from Jet had gone missing in action. He was due to take us on a musical journey of the east coast of Oz, but he never showed. So out we went in the Triple J chopper, and after many hours of searching, we found the tired and semi-dehydrated bass player just outside of Woolgoolga, clutching a bag of fine Australian albums. Today we're going to hear those tunes and find out why they were worth all the trouble. So join me this morning between 9am and midday on Triple J.
It is 12 to 7 on Triple J. Adam and Will with you. We're going to push back the weather for a second. Episode 23, the weather's being pushed back because there's some late mail arriving on it. And instead, we're going to listen to Rhys Muldoon's Gay School from last week, which was an absolute stinkingly good episode. Rhys is going to do Gay School live this Friday. His first ever live Gay School read from the Manning Bar, University of Sydney, from 6 in the morning, our final.
It's going to be tough for him too, because we'll want the suggestions before the show starts, basically, because he'll have to pop back to the ABC.
Yeah, oh God,
to get to the archives.
I don't even know if they're open at that time of the morning. Whoa!
See, this is...
I never even thought about that. Travel time. Woo, dearie me.
Maybe you could get a courier. Could we arrange a courier for the archives?
Yeah, we'll see what we can happen. Now, Rhys Muldoon's Gay School. Rhys Muldoon's Gay School from last week. We had a guy who'd been busted at the phone at the pictures because his phone had gone off. He wanted to know phone again. Albury had been cut in half by a freeway.
Yep.
Thorpe said that certain breakfast cereals were fully sick.
Yep.
We wanted bingo calls thrown in there because we were doing some bingo weather at the time. And there was a single mum complaining that when single mums get new boyfriends...
Yeah, they don't understand the kids.
They got no idea what it's like.
They don't understand the kids.
No idea. And we got Arnold Schwarzenegger thrown in for free at 11 to 7 on the Jays. Here's Gay School.
The Wodonga family were all dressed up and were waiting in the lounge room to meet Mum's new boyfriend. Ian, Albury and Bingo Wodonga were all very excited to say nothing of their mum. It's going to be choicer, bro, said Ian, who had a Kiwi father. I hope he doesn't cut me off when I'm speaking, said Albury, because when people cut me off, he'll be here in 2 ducks on the pond, 22 minutes, said Bingo, cutting Albury off. And sure enough, in 22 minutes' time, they heard a car pull up and a knock at the door. I'll get it, cuz, said Ian, and opened the door. Hello, little people. I am Arnold. Now go to bed. I want to make love to your mother. The kids all shrugged and went to bed. In the morning, Arnold woke the children and said, "Okay, little people, get in my Hummer. I'm going to teach you about high explosives." But Arnold, said Albury, we have to go to school. We're learning about... This is going to be fully sicko, bro, said Ian, cutting him off. Just get in the Hummer, said Bingo. Wow, look, it's the 11 series. Legs 11, number 11. Said the boys. Thank you for the homosexual compliment, said Arnold. No, Arnold, we were complimenting the car. We weren't, said Aubrey. Shut up, said Arnold, cutting him off. Now get in. Arnold went in to see the boy's mum, who was still quite exhausted as she had been bench pressing and doing upright rows all night. The boys aren't going to school. I'm taking them to see prostitutes, said Arnold. I'd rather you didn't, Arnold, said the boy's mum. They have to go to school, and they still haven't had any breakfast. Okay, said Arnold, and went back out to the boys. Listen up, little people. I wanted to teach you about high explosives and prostitutes, but your mother says you must eat. What are we going to do, Arnold? We've got to be at school in 35 minutes, said Bingo. We have to kill a cow, said Arnold. The boys were all a bit nervous. They didn't want to kill a cow. But Arnold kept driving. Soon they were in the country. Check out that choice bubbling mudder, bro, said Ian, thinking they were in Rotorua. I'm not sure this is a good... Shut up, said Arnold, cutting him off. There is a cow. Now we will kill and eat. Give me my gun. Bingo nervously handed Arnold the gun. He raised it up to his shoulder, took aim, and... Bingo's mobile had gone off, and the cow looked up and ran over the hill. Hooray, said the boys. The cow was safe. Now we can go to school, they all said in unison. Okay, said Arnold. I will go to prostitutes on my own. He didn't understand the little people. And then he drove them to school. Oh, the day had just begun.
It's the curse of every new boyfriend who comes along to a single mum. Got to go after the prostitutes by yourself because they've got to eat and go to school.
Parents just don't understand.
7-7 on the Jays. He's playing himself into great form for the final Go School of the year. The live read from Manning Bar this Friday from 6. The final, Adam and Will ever. Townsville, some showers and 30. Brisbane, a shower or 2, 25. Newcastle, showers this morning and 21. Sydney, a few showers and 21. Canberra, dry and only 3 hours from the Manning Bar at the University of Sydney. Get there this Friday. 23 degrees. Hobart, fine at 18. Adelaide, fine at 27. Perth, a thundery shower today and 34. Darwin, a storm today and 33. Alice Springs, fine and 33. Melbourne, fine and 20 degrees. We've deemed what Terri Psiakis had for this weather too controversial to say before 7 o'clock. It's going to be on at the very special adults-only time of about 7:15. 7-7 on the Jays. Here's Elliott Smith.
This is the place you end up when you lose the chase, where you're dragged against your will from a basement on the hill. And all anybody knows is you're not like them, and they kick you in the head and send you back to bed. Isolation pulled you past the tunnel to a bright world where you can make a place to stay. But everybody's scared of this place and staying away. Your little house on memory lane. The mayor's name is Fear. His force patrols appear from a mountain of cliché that advances every day. The doctor spoke a cloud. He rained out loud. You'll keep your doors and windows shut and swear you'll never show a soul again. But isolation pushes you till every muscle aches down the only road it ever takes. But everybody's scared of this place and staying away. Your little house on memory lane. If it's your decision to be open about yourself, be careful or else. Be careful or else. I'm comfortable apart. It's all written on my chart, and I take what's given me most cooperatively. I do what people say and lie in bed all day, absolutely horrified. I hope you're satisfied. Isolation pushes past self-hatred, guilt and shame to a place where suffering is just a game. But everybody's scared of this place and staying away. Your little house on memory lane. Your little house on memory lane.
Elliot Smith on Triple J and Memory Lane 4 to 7. How's the campaign for this Friday to be a public holiday Adam and Will Day going, Will?
Well, here's one of the entries that got sent to Premier Peter Beattie. This was from Angus Clark. He lives in Perth.
Yep.
And he's addressed it here. To the Right Honourable Peter Beattie, Premier of Queensland. Dear Sir, I'm writing to the most benevolent, wise and charismatic political leader in this country to call on him to grant us, the lowly proletariat, a day or at least a morning off from the painful, funless grind that is paid employment so that we may enjoy the last ever breakfast show from Adam and Will on Triple J. That valiant leader of which I spoke is, of course, yourself. Although I'm not a resident of your fair state, indeed I've only visited it once as a young child and I only have 2 lingering memories of that trip. One was the shame of being caught shoplifting a Snickers bar in a Gold Coast supermarket, and the second was the mortification of having to dig a hole for my own excrement while camping on Great Keppel Island.
Sure. Despite
this limited experience of the Sunshine State, it is a place I hold dear to my heart, for they have chosen to elect a leader of your calibre. You are far superior to our own knock-kneed, pants-wearing Chardonnay socialist Jeff Gallop. In fact, such is my admiration for you, I've envisaged the following scene. This is in the Prime Minister's office. Damn you, Howard, Beattie cries, hurling a massive bundle of printed emails onto the PM's desk. The people have spoken. You must declare National Adam and Will Day before it's too late. But I. The PM stammers, feeling inadequate in the face of such a strong leader. I can't in good conscience. You snivelling worm like tin pot centre-rightus. Beattie hammers a mighty Queenslander fist on the table. Can't you see low interest rates aren't all this country wants? Quality breakfast entertainment shows are the foundation stone of our society. But we only have a week. I'm done talking, Howard. Either you declare a national holiday, I'm going to run against you in the next election. Dear God, no, Howard squeals. If you go federal, we're finished. You've had your warning, Johnny. Now find your honour, you miserable cur, and declare that holiday. Beattie leaves with a determined stride, bowling over a grovelling Peter Costello on his way out.
Nice work. Nice work. Well read, too. There was one bit at the end where Peter Beattie became John Howard for a couple of words. But apart from that, that was a faithful transcript of what could be happening today. Ladies and gentlemen, as Peter Beattie campaigns on our behalf for an Adam and Will National Public Holiday. Here's the Cops and Dirty Little Rebel.
Hi, Rhianna Patrick with the latest from the Triple J newsroom. Federal police say no charges will be laid in relation to bribery allegations raised by the independent federal MP, Tony Windsor. Mr Windsor claims that a Tamworth businessman acting on behalf of the Deputy Prime Minister allegedly tried to bribe him to vacate his northern New South Wales seat. But the federal police say the Commonwealth Director of Public Prosecutions has examined witness statements and found that there's not enough evidence to lay charges. The US Secretary of State Colin Powell has urged the new Palestinian leadership to seize the opportunity created by Yasser Arafat's death to condemn terrorism. Mr Powell has also moved to reassure Palestinians that Israel would help ease conditions in the occupied territories for next year's election. Meanwhile, an Israeli military court's charged a soldier accused of emptying his weapon into the already dead body of a Palestinian schoolgirl. The court has charged the officer with the illegal use of a weapon, inappropriate behaviour and obstruction of justice. The 13-year-old was walking to school in Gaza last month when she was shot dead by Israeli troops who suspected her of carrying a bomb. Australian Federal Police have given information to Indonesian authorities on a Perth yachtsman being held in Bali on suspicion of gun running. Chris Packer was arrested on Friday after guns were found on his boat, but the 52-year-old claims they were there for protection against pirates. Family spokesman Paul Downey says efforts are continuing to secure bail for Mr Packer, who hasn't yet been charged.
At this stage, the expectation is that might take a few days.
The cyclist, who accused several of his teammates of injecting banned substances in the run-up to the Athens Olympics, is undergoing treatment after being bashed in a South Melbourne hotel on Sunday night. The attack on Mark French comes several days after the report on the final part of an inquiry into his allegations was tabled in the federal parliament. His father, David French, says he's concerned the attack may be related to the tabling of the report. The Australian cricket team is bracing for a New Zealand fight back in the second test starting on Friday. Australian paceman Jason Gillespie says the visitors will be determined to redeem themselves at Adelaide Oval.
They're a tough unit. They play very well as a team. They've got some very good match winners there, so we have to be on top of our game.
New Zealand lost the first test by an innings and 156 runs in Brisbane on Sunday, crumbling to an all-out for 76 in their second innings. Wallabies back Matt Rogers will soon know if he'll be punished for his involvement in an alleged incident outside an Edinburgh nightclub 2 weeks ago. Rogers faces the ARU disciplinary hearing this morning. And that's the latest news right across Australia. You're listening to Triple J.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello. Australia. What's happening in Adelaide, mate?
What's going on? Welcome to Thursday.
Good evening. Welcome to Roots and All for another week.
When you look at my face, don't you think a baby's behind?
I do.
That's right.
Triple J.
I think you're still alive, but I can't be sure if you recall my name. I think about you so much. I think about your touch. Do you even care? Do you even care? Everything that you are's worth leaving. Everything that you are's worth keeping. Everything that you are's worth leaving too. When we were young and all the rage. 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 I sold the devil's words and turned them into gold. I stole the hurt you gave and turned you into a ghost. I think about you so much. I think about your touch. Do you even care? Do you even care? Everything that you are's worth leaving. Everything that you are's worth keeping. Everything that you are's worth leaving too.
Wilberson on Triple J. When we were young and all the rage, it is 6 minutes past 7. We've got Yoni from Tripod on the line. How you going, Yoni?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good morning.
Emotional? Your last ever Song of an Hour challenge?
It is a little bit emotional.
Yeah. Are you remaining professional in the prep studio with Tripod, or are things getting a little bit teary?
Well, actually, the one we usually use is busted.
Oh, no.
So it's sort of fraught with a bit of excitement.
You're out of your comfort zone.
It's a bit fitting, yeah. We're out of our comfort zone. Maybe it'll be good this time.
Who knows?
Let's not do that for the last one.
Let's not spoil it.
Now, we've thrown you a lot of different things this morning. So,
Requested by the listeners, and they're a bit weird today.
Yeah, one of the girls we called earlier was having a French exam.
Yep.
Later in the week, so she wants as many French references, French words, that sort of stuff as possible. That'd be cool. Could there be someone being mistaken for a gay porn star? Often news that Casey Donovan, who won Australian Idol, they forgot to put the AU on her website, and CaseyDonovan.com is actually an American gay porn star. Could we have a reference to the butt lasers? When Astro Boy used to bend over and shoot lasers out of his butt?
Yep.
Could we have a reference to the fact that sometimes when men have back injuries, they get spontaneous erections?
Yes.
And could we also highlight the major issue that there's no national standard for feng shui?
Right.
No, I've just actually dialed up CaseyDonovan.com.
Yeah, and he's not a small man, Casey Donovan.
It's fair to say at least the kids who went to this website by mistake would have realised fairly
Straight
quickly
away.
they were at the wrong place.
Yeah.
It's about 7:07 on the Jays.
Man, and that was back in the days before Brazilians, wasn't it?
If we can throw you one last thing, Yoni, if that's all right. This is, as we've said, your final Song of an Hour challenge. And there's always in these sort of things, when you reach the final episode, there's something big that people have always wanted to know. What was Mr. Big's real name in Sex and the City, for example? Will Ross and Rachel get back together? That sort of thing. So if with just a few seconds to go in this, Tripod could drop a bombshell.
Okay, all right.
Ideally something true from one of the Tripod guys' past or something like that, but something that's just going to leave everyone saying, Did you? Oh, my God. What? No, and then you're just gone. So just drop a bombshell.
All right, okay.
With a few seconds to go, okay?
All right.
7:08 on the Jays. Best of luck with it, Yoni.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, dearie me. That is the Tripod Song of an Hour challenge for the last time, just before 8 o'clock today. And also for the last time, Professor Will versus Dr. Karl. The final showdown. After 3 long years on the airwaves, there can be only one. It happens after 8 o'clock today. Here is The Charlatans on Triple J. Great little tune, the only one I know. You with Adam and Will. Good morning.
Take me away.
Mel here. You may have heard last Friday morning that Mark from Jet had gone missing in action. He was due to take us on a musical journey of the east coast of Oz, but he never showed. So out we went in the Triple J chopper, and after many hours of searching, we found the tired and semi-dehydrated bass player just outside of Woolgoolga, clutching a bag of fine Australian albums. Today we're going to hear those tunes and find out why they were worth all the trouble. So join me this morning between 9am and midday on Triple J.
It is 7:13 on the J's. Adam and Will be there. We're about to launch into episode 22 of The Weather, and Terri Psiakis is with us. How are you going, Tex?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good, thanks. Are you just bogged down by emotion?
Oh, it is pretty emotional.
Your last Terri Psiakis weather list. We've lived the highs and the lows with you. The time you moved out of home, the time you moved back, the time you moved out of home again, the time you moved back.
When you moved out of home and back.
The time you were at home when George did the weather for us. The time you moved out of home and George did the weather for us.
Yeah.
There've been some crazy times.
There have been some wild and crazy times.
The time the guy from the pizza shop wanted to root you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got a free pizza out of it. So
I don't know. Don't get it wrong.
They were crazy days. All the Millsy jokes.
Yeah.
All the Paris Hilton jokes. They've been great days.
I know. Well, I'm feeling a little bit sad. Not just because, this is the last weather list, but also because the children's choir that I booked to sing Wind Beneath My Wings to you guys haven't turned up.
They're probably standing on top of Ayers Rock and at the great, the Tower of Pisa. And
why don't you nip down the corridor to where Tripod are getting their song on an hour challenge ready if they're ahead of time.
Boys, can you just belt out some Wind
Must
Beneath
have
Their
been
Wings
a
for us?
cold beneath my shadow.
But I think, I think it's a very important thing that when you get to the last one of anything, it's a good time to reflect, I think, on everything that's gone before, which, basically that's what I'm going to do this morning. This is my final weather list of reflections on my time with the Brekkie Show.
Oh, awesome.
Why don't we make this weather list in the spirit of your Australian Idol final? Why don't we keep this going till about midday?
Yeah.
We're going to cross back now to George now for another update.
Just on the weather list that came before it.
Episodes.
How the journey began.
22 of the weather. Townsville, some showers and 30. Brisbane, a shower or two, 25.
Back in the early days of doing these lists, I was reporting on celebrity gossip and had to read New Idea, Woman's Day, New Weekly and Who Weekly. According to my doctor, the neurological damage is irreversible, but on the bright side, mine's the only brain scan he's seen that looks exactly like Swiss cheese.
Newcastle showers this morning. Sydney, a few showers and 21.
As the Brekkie Show's celebrity gossip reporter, I used to refer to myself as the poor man's Angela Bishop. I recently had the opportunity to meet Angela at a truck stop near Kalgoorlie, and she was very angry. In fact, she insisted that I make it clear to Brekkie Show listeners that the poor man's Angela Bishop is in fact Angela Bishop.
There you go. We've clarified that. Canberra dry on 23. Hobart fine on 92.9 FM and 18 degrees.
And most of the time I broadcast these lists from a studio, but for a while I was doing them on the phone, which meant I was able to do them from bed. Sometimes I even did them from my own bed.
Thought you were about to give us a detail there I really didn't want. And you actually did. Adelaide fine and 27. Perth a thundery shower today and 34.
My accountant, Dad George, is often featured in these lists, and I asked him if he had any final messages he'd like to pass on. He said, and I quote, "Good luck to everybody, and if one more person turns up to my office with their tax receipts in plastic shopping bags, I'm probably going to have to take a life."
Darwin a storm today and 33. Alice Springs fine and 33. These are reflections on Terry's time with breakfast.
Doing these lists has let me get a lot off my chest, which is great because it's cheaper than formal breast reduction.
Sure.
However, out of everything I've had the chance to express, the highlight was being given the opportunity to use the word cock on the airwaves of our national public broadcaster.
Nice. Melbourne fine and 20 degrees. The final reflection from Terri Psiakis.
There are a lot of things I was going to say in this final weather list. I was going to say how much fun it's been. Then I was going to thank you for making me a part of the show and of Triple J. And I was going to say how much I'm going to miss you guys. But then I got high.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Except that the word cock got the Guernsey over minge.
Well, minge is old school now.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Retro flange.
Terri Psiakis.
My pleasure.
We'll speak to you soon in a social context.
Cool.
7:17 on the Jays. The Delgados. Everybody come down. Terri Psiakis, the final weather list.
See a plan, see a source, see a reason to believe in more. Better still take a walk. up on the only star. She is ill, he is still just as trying as he was before. Comes around with some chat with a dagger hanging in the back. It's insane because everybody come down. We can drive, we can race, we can celebrate space. Everybody come down to the place I erase. I started to believe, but I never did believe in you. Got a slap in the face from the mafia who ran the place. Was the girl with the thrill, like to show me how she knew the drill. For a while kept it low, then decided I could ace her blow. Moved away, then she stayed, now she's living for the hit parade. It's insane because everybody come down. We can drive, we can race, we can celebrate space. Everybody come down to the place I erase. I said I could believe, but I never did believe in you. Everybody come down. We can drive, we can race, we can celebrate space. Everybody come down. We have hills, we have girls, we have people in place. Everybody come down. 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 Everybody come down.
Yeah, we're talking 20 past 7 on Triple J. Adam and Will with you. Tuesday, the 23rd of November. Only 3 shows, 1 hour and 40 minutes to go of Adam and Will settled. You're not meant to be excited, dude. You're meant to cry. God, work experience kids heckling now.
The work experience kids are like, thank God.
Exactly. It means, well, weekend.
Jeez, we can steal stuff.
Exactly. This Friday, coming from Manning Bar at the University of Sydney, our final ever live show. Get there early. It's the only place where you can pick up special designer Spence wear. The House of Spence limited edition T-shirts available this Friday, or to great callers who make suggestions during the course of this week. Well, I was as excited as anyone at the latest edition of Who Weekly magazine because on their page marked Scoop, and boy has Jenny Noonan got a scoop here. She has a one-on-one interview with Delta Goodrum where Delta gives the interpretation, the meaning of the lyrics of some of her songs on her new album, Mistaken Identity.
Thank God, because I have always found Delta Goodrum a bit obtuse and oblique.
Exactly.
I've always thought her lyrics were so complex that it's hard to know what they're really about.
You're thinking, is this Australia's #1 sweetheart, or am I listening to James Joyce's Ulysses?
Seriously, it's just too dense, Delta. Dumb it down.
Exactly.
It ain't Hunter S. Thompson, dude.
It took a
Get to the point, Delta.
It took a long time for the greatest academics of the world at that time to interpret the Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
Of course, that stone document that had ancient Egypt, Herodotus, and Sanskrit on it at the same time. Well, nothing compared to the lyrics of Out of the Blue.
All right.
Here, I'll give you the sample lyric,
All right.
and then I'll tell you what Delta says it's
Okay,
about.
beautiful.
Out of the blue, there I met you. I can't believe this happened so soon.
Yeah, that is complex.
Out of the
that
blue,
is oblique and obtuse, Delta.
there
Dumb
I
it down, Delta.
met you.
Is that even in English?
I can't believe
That's a foreign language, surely.
that this happened so soon.
Now, how did Delta interpret that?
It's about someone coming out of a dark place and meeting someone that brightens their day.
Yep.
Now, if they come in for a while then leave, it's all good. I'm still proud of that song. I still love that song. Nothing changes.
Right, so somebody coming out of the blue.
Out of a dark place and meeting someone that brightens their day.
And then leaves them for a dirty skank.
Yes.
Meaning someone who brightens your day.
Yes.
And then goes to the other side of the world and has a shot at someone who everybody else in the world's had a shot at.
I think that...
Is that bit in the song as well? That's in the remix.
I think I've misread it. It says, out of the blue, there I met you. I can't believe you dumped me for that cum-guzzling slut.
Well, I didn't realise that Delta was such a misogynist.
There you go. Dearie me. Mistaken identity. Let's go for the track Mistaken Identity. Here's the lyric. The girl in the chair with the long golden hair. Well, that used to be me. A flirtatious smile, unpredictably wild, always trying to please. I was always walking one step ahead. Or so I thought, until the monster crawled into my bed.
Right. So, is that about Mark Philippoussis again?
I'm not sure.
Is he the monster that crawled into a bed?
I'm not sure. Well, no, here it is.
Delta used to be quite a good party girl until the monster crawled into her bed.
No, it's talking about change within.
Oh.
Delta says, when I'm saying that's not me, I'm talking about being sick and the changes that were happening.
Oh,
it wasn't about an alter ego or anything.
Right.
According to Delta.
Right.
She sets this clear in Scoop page.
Right.
On her, I'll give you that. This is the one. This is the one that shocked me. The song's called Miscommunication. And the lyric is, we seem to have a knack for miscommunication. It stabbed us in the back this time. Is this the end of the line? Because that'd be a crime.
Oh, man, this is so dense, so hard to understand, these lyrics.
Well,
so glad that she's finally interpreted them.
Delta lifts the lid on the track, Miscommunication.
What does it mean? What's it about?
It's about a phone relationship and when things are said that aren't meant. It's about miscommunicating.
Well,
Everyone.
It's about miscommunicating?
It's about miscommunicating.
Oh, right.
Everybody knows about miscommunicating on the phone.
Right.
There you go.
So is that about Warnie?
That's a revelation, isn't it?
That was Delta on the phone to Warnie.
Didn't that come from
Delta,
some
what are you wearing?
hidden place?
Yeah, I know. The poo gave me your number. I'm pouring wine all over myself.
The album
What are you
is
doing?
Mistaken Identity.
Come on, text me, Delta.
It's like a Joseph...
I love you. I'm Australia's sweetheart too.
It's like
Do you like cricket?
It's like a Joseph Conrad novel.
You can come and sing in the change rooms if you want.
It's not until the 15th or 20th time that you've read
I'll
the lyrics.
introduce you to Clarkie.
Today. It's 25 past 7 on the Jays. Here's Muff and Plutonic.
Do you know anything by John Williams?
All right. Heaps good.
Oh, yeah. All right, look. My words disperse, the spears are piercing, harping through your first rap down to your last tune. This ain't some fast food, it's a gourmet saute. I rock it like Rebecca De Mornay. And what the courts say ain't always justice, and what gets airplay can't always be trusted. You've got some balls in it, but it still doesn't click what you're fucking with. Thick skull, numb nuts, funny like guns, jumping into the bang bus. You can thank us for bringing you of all of the rank stuff. Muff's got the handcuffs to put the kink in your thinking, and the bitch in your system, the binge in your drinking while you swing with the victims. I live in this tradition and keep kicking like unborn infants. You can't flow, hell no, you're impotent, limited. I'm finishing up these fantasy mythological frauds. I strike chords with honesty that can't be ignored. Mop the floors of your weak spillage, scream visuals like Village. I came to kill your fillets. We'll never fade like your jeans would. Muffin Plutonic, and you know that we're heaps good. They ain't sick, boy, they just seem crook. Muffin Plutonic, and you know that we're heaps good. We'll never fade like your jeans would. Muffin Plutonic, and you know that we're heaps good. They ain't sick, boy, they just seem crook. Muffin Plutonic, and you know that we're heaps good. And I'ma throw these mood swings in orbit, watch them collide in the self-pity forfeit. The morbid mic motivator, cornered in a calculator, scores low figures, forced to support a demonstrator of low-budget innovator. My rap sat and hashed in the incubator, where the rest of the chickens remain positioned heaps later, heaps later, heaps later. Hey yo, I'm heaps greater, heaps fresh, heaps nice, heaps sick, heaps dope, heaps tight, heaps obliged to represent my life. I'm that typecast who creeps through the dark heart parked in the mine shaft. These sheep sleep on the smarter art like Carhartt. Try hard, give my kind regards to the die-hard jocks who would non-stop mock the fact that I love hip-hop. Well, I caught him applying lip gloss and sporting spotted frocks, getting smacked like shuttlecocks, coming across the race nets. The same set, only to digress and get dropped. They couldn't get props from their drama teacher. There's not a spot where karma can't come and reach ya. I do my own thing while you follow the leader. You're best to believe in the muff. We'll never fade like your jeans would. Muffin Plutonic and you know that we're heaps good. They ain't sick, boy, they just seem crook. Muffin Plutonic and you know that we're heaps. This is heaps good. You ain't Fleetwood, you can't Mac. My raps make you crash like a car nap. While driving mobile, I fit the profile of the gift of flow. While these senile, slow, small, silly rappers sound better played backwards. I'm tired of the manufactured high-wide dramatic actors that you find attractive. Held captive by the multis, even if the message is faulty. Colby cheese oozing, please keep moving. You need improvement and bleed confusion. Leave them stupid, I maneuvered past the spark. You're a smart ass, hard ass on the net. But I'm not going to break a sweat at these little kiddies trying to diss me. Swept straight under the rug. This is for those that dug my flows, kept me on my toes. You know, chose more than music, absorbed it, bought it, enjoyed it, got lost, lose it. Disputed my integrity, a sorry apology if I was rude when you met me, and eventually I'll make it up to you. To the haters, I don't usually give a fuck, but fuck you. We'll never fade like your jeans would. Muffin Plutonic and you know that we're heaps good. They ain't sick, boy, they just seem crook. Muffin Plutonic and you know that we're heaps good. We'll never fade like your jeans would. Muffin Plutonic and you know that we're heaps good. They ain't sick, boy, they just seem crook. Muffin Plutonic and you know that we're heaps good.
Triple J's Gig Guide.
If you're three brothers growing up in the remote hills of New Zealand, what do you do for fun? Start your own band, of course. Evermore's first bedroom recorded single gained fans worldwide. They've recorded their debut album in Seattle with a producer who's worked with Nirvana and the Foo Fighters, and now they're in the tour bus ready to play for you. Catch Evermore on tour now, playing most states across Australia, supported by Triple J.
For more info, head to the Gig Guide at triplej.net.au.
Hi, Rhianna Patrick with Triple J News headlines. No charges will be laid over bribery claims raised by independent federal MP Tony Windsor as federal police finish their investigations. The US Secretary of State Colin Powell has reassured Palestinians that Israel would help ease conditions in the occupied territories, which would allow them to vote freely in next year's elections. Tens of thousands of people are continuing their protest in the Ukrainian capital Kiev over the result of the weekend presidential election, which they say was rigged. The 4-day game between Victoria and New South Wales starts in Melbourne today, and a furious Saudi bride has beaten up a woman and pulled her hair in front of her wedding guests after the woman used a mobile phone camera to photograph her at the reception.
You may now kick the bride. It's the only time the bouquet has actually been thrown in someone's face. And the weird thing was, when she stabbed her, the knife went right through, so she had to kiss the guy on her left. It was so embarrassing.
Tens of thousands of people continue.
Everyone got a piece of her.
Continuing
at the end.
They're protesting Kiev over the rigged presidential elections on the weekend. John Anderson is involved. Denied any involvement.
No involvement. John Anderson had nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
Wasn't even there.
It is
Never been to Kiev.
7:30.
Never had a chicken Kiev.
7:30 on the Jays. Now, have you made a decision, you know, whether you're dancing
dance.
at our big live Friday show this Friday from Manning Bay, University of Sydney? Last ever Triple J breakfast. You could be the first ever Triple J breakfast with Adam and Will newsreader to dance after a read. It's history in the making, RP.
Karen Barlow might have done the
Is
robot
Jules
once.
going to be around?
Is Jules going to be around?
Really? You need a dance partner?
I might. I might
Okay.
need someone just to bounce off.
It could be.
I'm totally.
It could be our version of Dancing with the Stars.
Totally happy to throw Jules into the mix.
Yeah, that'd be
Rhianna
awesome.
and
Dancing
Jules.
with the Piss Week Stars.
Doing some good.
Could be a new radio show.
The sort of dancing that you like to do, can it be done by a man with absolutely no booty whatsoever?
See, that's what I'm willing to go there.
Jules
I'm willing to push the boundaries of booty dancing
Jules
up
does
to the next level, to the extreme.
Can
booty
you
dancing.
lend him some booty? Can you bring some for him? Because he's got nothing.
We could work something out.
Okay, 29-8 on the Jays. I'm looking forward to it.
Are you a better dancer than Jules? It could be a new comp.
Oh, we could have a dance-off.
There you go. Dance off this Friday. Rhianna versus Jules. You get to pick the music. It is 29-8 on the Jays. Here's presets, Girl on the Sea. Craig McLachlan is in the building. Ladies, Craig McLachlan is in the building. And we'll be talking to him next. 28-8 on the Jays. That is your presets on Triple J and Girl and the Sea, 24-8. Adam and Will with you. And we've got here as our guest now, ladies and gentlemen, the hardest working man in Australian show biz. Star of McLeod's Daughters. Star soon of Hating Alison Ashley. Star of The Glass House recently. And star of Through My Eyes, the Lindy Chamberlain story. Craig McLachlan, how are you this morning, sir?
Boys, can I just thank you, right from the get-go, can I just thank you for inviting me, letting me be a part of this historic week here at Triple J.
Yeah, thanks, Craig.
No trouble at all, mate. Jason Donovan cancelled, and we grabbed you.
Gosh, is that the time?
Hey, when you must have been involved in some emotional farewells, because I would imagine when Henry Ramsey went out, drove up that cul-de-sac out. Where did he go? Did he go to Queensland?
Interestingly enough, he was because Queensland was the destination of
That's
choice.
where everyone ended up going to Queensland. At one stage, I was thinking, why don't they just start filming the show in Queensland?
Yeah. Well,
that's where all the big cast members are.
Well, there would be a great spin-off series, wouldn't there? No, this will be some indication of how highly I was regarded. They sent me to Wellington, New Zealand.
Really?
For Henry. But here's the kooky thing about certainly that period of Neighbours. I was in Wellington, New Zealand about 2 years after I left the show doing a little film over there, and I'm in the local Woolies one day, and a woman comes up and goes, I listen and I listen and I listen to the radio every day and I haven't heard you yet. And I went, excuse me?
Yeah. Well.
I've listened and I mean, I have two small children, so I don't do the late night thing, but I listen through the day, and of course, Henry left Erinsborough to get an apprenticeship at a radio station in Wellington, New Zealand. And I didn't have the heart to tell this woman.
Oh, God.
So I looked at her and I said,
oh, God.
I actually work in production. I'm in carting and winding.
So she's behind the...
So you're not actually on air.
I met Henry Ramsey today. He works in production.
Yeah, he's not an on-air guy at all.
He's kicked on, hasn't he?
Well, do you think now that you've done the Lindy Chamberlain story, people are going to be spitting on you in the street then?
Probably. Mind you, I copped a little bit of that after the Glass House bouncer story.
Now this
controversial.
Was the bombshell.
Craig revealed on Glass House that he's always been haunted by the fact that he may have killed Bouncer.
Talk us through what's going on here. Bouncer, of course, was a lovable little dog on the opening series of Neighbours. What happened?
The lovable Labrador, the adored Labrador, Mark Little and I...
Who played Joe
Mangle. Very funny bloke, Mark. We used to... When Bouncer was set in position, you could detonate an H-bomb next to this dog. He would not move until his trainer... Absolute pro.
Yeah.
Years at the Johnny Young Talent School.
Exactly.
Dog too. And anyway, I used to tear off a bit of paper off the bottom of the script, fashion it into a stick-like implement, and set about, dare I say, at the sound of the morning, pleasuring said canine.
Sure.
Do you remember the cartoon series Pink Panther? I say no more.
Sure.
And of course...
Like a little lipstick for kids at home.
Sure. And Mark Little would keep the floor manager and crew occupied until I gave him the nod, and then he'd do the scene. 6 weeks later, the episode would come to air. All my friends who hated the show and hated me in it would reluctantly come over. We'd sit around the telly and I'd say, look, this is not about me, it's about the dog. Check out the dog in the next scene. Oh, and they'd crack open a beer, they'd sit there, and all of a sudden they'd go, we hate the...
No way! Oh, the dog's got a bat! You beauty! Let's watch Bouncer bar up.
Yeah. It was the Where's Willie sort of...
Exactly.
thing.
Early 90s, I'm in London doing a show. One of the kids I work with, who's a big Bouncer fan, runs into the rehearsal space, teary-eyed, and says, have you seen the paper today? Second page of the Sun or the Mirror or whatever it was. Canine acting legend dies.
Second page of the UK press.
Yeah.
Bouncer died.
Neighbours is
I think
massive over there.
This may have been a week that, the late Arafat may have been in Washington doing whatever, and no, second page of the paper, Bouncer's
Margaret
passing.
Thatcher re-elected, European Union, Bouncer.
Australian canine legend.
And in the British press, it would have been next to, say, Madge with her boobs out.
Exactly. So there's a story that... Bouncer's passed away, and he's succumbed to a rare form of canine testicular cancer. Well, Of course, I'm immediately on the phone to Mark Little, and I'm saying, do you think there could have been something in the paper that we used that we tore off the bottom of the screen?
The ink poisoning on the scrote.
Exactly.
And so there was some fallout?
Major fallout. Major fallout.
Have people been shunning you in the street?
Well, that kid never spoke to me again for the entire run of the show.
It's nice.
And I thought, of course, it'd be a very cool thing to reveal on the Glass House. No, I was mistaken.
It is 19 to 8 on Triple J. We're talking with Craig McLachlan. Here's Garbage.
I'm only happy when it rains. I'm only happy when it's complicated. And though I know you can't appreciate it, I'm only happy when it rains. You know I love it when the news is bad. Why it feels so good to feel so sad. I'm only happy when it rains. Pour your misery down. Pour your misery down on me. Pour your misery down. Pour your misery down on me. I'm only happy when it rains. Feel good when things are going wrong. I only listen to the sad, sad songs. I'm only happy when it rains. I only smile in the dark. My only comfort is the night gone black. I didn't accidentally tell you that. I'm only happy when it rains. You get the message by the time I'm through. When I complain about me and you, I'm only happy when it rains. Pour your misery down. Pour your misery down on me. Pour your misery down. Pour your misery down on me. Pour your misery down. Pour your misery down on me. Pour your misery down. I'm only happy when it rains. You wanna hear about my new obsession? I'm riding high upon a deep depression. I'm only happy when it rains. 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 I'm only happy
That's Garbage on Triple J. Only happy when it rains. In which case, you'd be very happy in Townsville today. Some showers and 30. Brisbane a shower or two. 25. Newcastle showers this morning and 21.
Happy there.
Sydney a few showers and already
Happy.
a few people looking towards Manning Bar at the University of Sydney this Friday for our big final ever show.
Girling friends of the cops.
21 degrees.
It's going to be huge.
Canberra dry and 23. Hobart fine at 18. Adelaide fine at 27. Perth a thundery shower today and 34.
Happy there.
Darwin a storm today and 23.
Happy.
Alice Springs fine and 33. Melbourne fine and 20. Now, Craig McLachlan, through my eyes, the Lindy Chamberlain story tonight and tomorrow night, 8:30 on Channel 7. A good friend of mine, Johnny Cox, has an extremely, extremely minor role.
Johnny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the show. If you could just...
The J-Man.
If you could do me a favour and say on air how much of a thrill it was to work with him. That had really meant a lot to him.
Do you know what? It's interesting. I had a conversation with a journalist yesterday who was, rattling off the names of some of the people I've worked with over the years, ranging, of course, the aforementioned Bouncer.
Sure.
Kylie, Jason.
Yep.
Ian Richardson, the great Shakespearean actor, Brian Blessed, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Sure.
Of course, I did a film with...
You've worked with them all.
I've worked with them all.
The big stars.
But can I just say, Johnny Cox,
Yeah.
there is a man with focus, determination, passion for his craft. Can I just say, you say Johnny had a small role.
Just like assistant sheriff in one of the court scenes or
Look,
something.
that conjures up something that suggests something minor.
Yeah.
No, Johnny is never minor in anything he does.
Yep.
Although, and he certainly doesn't have a small part.
No.
Johnny Cox.
Because they shower together on set. That's a McLachlan rule.
Okay.
Whatever production he does, we all shower together.
Sure.
It's team bonding.
Yeah.
The aptly named Mark Little we were talking about earlier.
Indeed. No, look, in my trailer, the policy is, or the groupie grotto as I call it,
Sure.
the policy is the more the merrier.
Sure.
The cast and crew that play together stay together. Now, Johnny Cox, those courtroom scenes that we recreated, I don't know, and I think I can speak for Miranda Otto as well. I don't know that we could have got through them. I don't think we could have gotten through those scenes.
Without an assistant bailiff.
Without Johnny Cox there. Yeah. Because not only did he know his dialogue, well, technically speaking, he didn't have any, but he so beautifully knew our dialogue.
Yeah, that's
so when we were
important.
struggling with stuff, he'd pipe in with
Johnny.
Craig.
Not guilty.
Not
guilty, mate.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Johnny.
Thanks, John.
No, he was a real
Sweet work.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Miranda, cry.
Yeah.
Miranda, it's a dingo took my baby.
Yeah.
Hey, I love this about you because you've carved out a niche, and I've told you this before, and I mean this sincerely. That Stuart Diver show you made, that was just one of the best performances I've ever seen. That was like a movie film performance on TV. It was just a great performance, I thought, in that film. Like, I thought you were more believable than Stuart Diver. I've seen him interviewed, and I thought you were a better Stuart Diver than he is. I got to be honest with you.
In case you're listening, Stuart, fun is the...
These days, I think of Stuart Diver as a Craig McLachlan impersonator.
But you have carved out a bit of a niche now, obviously.
I think that's Harry and Miller on the phone for me.
Doing these true life stories. You've got the Michael Chamberlain now. You've had, the Stuart Diver. Is there somebody on the wish list? Is there somebody who you look at and go, oh I'd love to play them?
Two, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Humphrey B. Bett.
Yeah.
Sure. through my lips, the Humphrey story.
Through my nose.
Yeah.
Well, Humphrey had the same amount of dialogue as Johnny Cox.
Sure.
So.
And Alan Wilkie. The Alan Wilkie story.
The old Channel 9 weatherman.
Check this out.
Okay.
With a low pressure system off the coast of Tasmania.
Had a bit of lifts, didn't he, Alan Wilkie?
Certainly not as much as Alan Seal.
No.
The Sealmeister was the grand poobah of the whistling lisp.
Through my low pressure trough, the Alan Wilkie story.
You can see it.
Yeah, I can. It's happening for me.
That's what we're working on next year.
Absolutely.
Some of that rivalry with Edwin Marr.
Deary me. Well,
that's what I've got my sights set on.
Would you like to cap off an amazing year for Craig McLachlan by coming along this Friday to play a role in our radio play on air live from the Manning Bar?
Is this a formal invitation?
It is.
Is this only because Johnny Cox turned it down?
Exactly.
I'm there.
Oh, awesome. That's great. Now I've got to write this play.
Catch Craig McLachlan live this
Friday. Now
Friday.
that McLachlan's in.
From Manning
I'm
Bar.
writing this baby
At the University of Sydney. Thank you very much, Craig.
Boys, thank you.
Tonight and tomorrow night, 8:30 on Channel 7, Through My Eyes. 10 to 8, Tripod up next. Here's Ariel Burnside, Someday Baby.
All right, let's get this thing moving.
Yeah.
It is about 7 to 8 on the J's. Adam and Will with your tripod up very soon with their final song in an hour challenge ever for Triple J Breakfast, including a reference to when men get back injuries, they can have involuntary erections. Woo! After 8 o'clock, Professor Will versus Dr. Karl. How's Professor Will looking on this one? Have you seen him?
Yeah, I just saw him lingering around somewhere with a copy of Dr. Karl's Great Misconceptions book.
They're going to showdown over the book.
Well, I don't know, but Professor Will did seem to be shaking his head and crossing stuff out.
Professor Will taking Dr. Karl to task.
He had Dr. Karl's Great Misconceptions in one hand and a bottle of liquid paper in the other. I don't know what that means.
Oh, dearie me. Showdown with Dr. Karl over his latest book after 8 o'clock. Here is Ed from Perth. A guy who hasn't put that much thought into his DJ name, but I like it. Ed from Perth. And
Where's he from?
I don't know.
Right.
I think he's from Ed.
Oh, right.
I don't know. It's just like you can't tell with these dudes. Artistic license. This track is called Adam, University Maths Geek Spencer versus Will, Dick Jokes for Cash Anderson. He hasn't put much thought into this at all.
No.
In the naming process.
It's simplistic.
But the track itself's an absolute cracker. Tripod up next. Adam Spencer weighing in at 79.4.
He was still dreaming.
There won't be a rematch. I'm a former university maths dude. 79.4. Feeling very quick upstairs. I hear that voice in my head every time I see a full beer in front of me.
Exactly, yeah.
You put in your drink this, you'll be able to have another one. And I'm a former maths geek. Which could be a weapon in itself in the middle of a bout. Sorry.
That's a weakness.
Adam Spencer found in Matt Damon heartthrob hot pick tryst with dog.
He was still dreaming.
I've never heard someone sound drunker at this time of the morning. By a team of monkeys we have in another room, they get a bit of,
You've lost your edge, man.
Some mathematician sidekick with only 5 days to retirement. Who comes up with that stuff? Can I throw one at you?
Sorry. Now, Will and I have tangled undefeated, no losses.
Fuck, I think he's died.
The Rumble in the studio. Ed from Perth on Triple J at 5 to 8. We haven't decided on a winner yet. triplej.net.au is the grab bag. There's still a chance to win the right to be the very last song we'll ever play on air. Tripod's song in an air challenge today. The song in an hour challenge has to have French words. We've got a girl who's got a French final coming up. Being mistaken for a gay porn star, as Casey Donovan's website was. Astro Boy's butt lasers. The relationship between back injuries and erections. There is no national standard, Will, for Feng Shui. There's no uniform standard for Feng Shui practitioners, and they have to drop a bombshell because it's their last song in an hour challenge. Take it away, Tripod.
That sounds great.
Thanks, man. Take me apart and put me in boxes. I've had my day, so take me away. Now I'm a man, my career is over. Once I was Astro Boy, who wants an Astro Man? Feel like a used up toy. I've done all I can, Astro Man. I was one of those Japanese crazies. They love my rocket boots and butt lasers. But arching my back every time I shot the lasers has permanently hurt my spine. Now I spend all my time laid up in this here bed, only memories in my head, Astro Man. I tried to get on top of new technology and make myself a website, but I got all this traffic looking for the things that I could not provide. And how was I to know there's already a gay porn star called Astro Man? Astro Man. Living a life that's lacking direction, and a sore back that gives me a constant erection. And my heart unscrews up the feng shui of my house. All of these feng shui books spread out in front of me. All agree. 'Cause I'm a robot, I need rules and conformity. And the romance languages just don't work for me. What on earth does this mean anyway?
Ne pointez pas le sponge vers les fenêtres.
Do not point the sponge towards the window. What?
Oh, it's going to be the last chorus ever.
Oh, the last chorus
We better give
ever.
them our bombshell.
Oh, bombshell.
Maybe we should wait. Wait till after the chorus.
Make them build up the tension. Build up the tension.
Once I was Astro Boy. Who wants an Astro Man? Feel like a used up toy. I've done all I can. Okay, Australia, this is the bombshell. Tripod are all one man.
There's only one of us. One man with 3 personalities.
3 heads.
Yes.
3 bodies.
Aha! Australia.
With intelligence and collective talent that adds up to one single man.
Astro Man. Thanks, Will. Thanks, Adam. That was ace fun.
What a bombshell.
Thank you, Tripod. It has been one of the great pleasures of our show for the last 4 or 5 years
So
to
it's
have
the
you guys
butt
on.
lasers led to the erections, led to the feng shui. 8 o'clock news. Thanks a lot, guys. Well done.
Cheers. Thanks for having us.
Hi, Rhianna Patrick with Triple J News. A Central Australian youth organisation says a comprehensive coronial inquest is needed into petrol sniffing deaths in the Northern Territory. The Central Australian Youth Link-Up Service has written to the Territory coroner asking that an inquest be held into 19 deaths, which it believes were caused by petrol sniffing. Coordinator Tristan Ray.
Across the region, there's a whole range of reasons that people die from petrol sniffing and a whole range of reasons that kids are sniffing at all in remote communities. And we'd really like to see the review go as wide and as far as possible, particularly now that the NT government is introducing new legislation relating to petrol sniffing.
Independent federal MP Tony Windsor has welcomed a decision that charges won't be laid over his claims of bribery, but he's still calling for a Senate inquiry into the matter.
I don't see any real surprises in the statement that the AFP has made, given that there were various versions of the conversation. But obviously the AFP has said, well, they haven't passed judgment on anybody.
The Australian Federal Police have finished their investigations into Mr Windsor's claim that a Tamworth businessman acting on behalf of the Deputy Prime Minister John Anderson allegedly tried to bribe him to vacate his northern New South Wales seat. Another man's expected to face a Brisbane court today over last week's seizure of about $4 million worth of ecstasy tablets. The drug was found on the New South Wales Central Coast and is thought to have been on its way to schoolies celebrations on the Gold Coast. 4 men have already faced court over their involvement. A private jet on its way to pick up former President George Bush at a US airport has crashed in bad weather, killing the 3 crew members on board. The cause of the accident hasn't been determined. Arab delegations to an international conference on Iraq say it might turn out better to delay the Iraqi elections beyond January to ensure full participation. Egypt, Jordan and the Arab League have raised the possibility of delaying the elections if the process isn't inclusive. The outgoing US Secretary of State Colin Powell says he's pleased with Israel's promise to allow Palestinians freedom of movement and access to vote freely in next year's election. Israel says it'll do everything in its power to make sure conditions in the occupied territories are eased so all Palestinians can take part in the poll. The Australian cricket team has issued a warning to New Zealand ahead of the second test in Adelaide. Australian paceman Jason Gillespie says the team's still recovering from the tour of India and will continue to improve.
Whether or not we actually felt flat, I'm not sure. But, our first 2 days of cricket weren't as good as, the standards that we like to set.
And that's the latest news right across Australia. You're listening to Triple J.
Home is where to hide.
Hello, Australia.
Got any good tunes on the way?
Caucus.
Yeah, got some
Well, there's a lot of love in the room this evening, let me tell you.
Can I tell you, I feel the common love of people of Australia.
You guys listen to Triple J, and I wish you a great day and rock.
Scribbles is happening right here now. Uh-oh, flow, set the car. Early in the morning, Stop, drop, and roll. And in the evening, it's all good too. Stop, drop, and roll. When the lights go wild, it's all good too. Stop, drop, and roll. 'Cause when we're hot, Decepticons. Stop, drop, and roll. Yeah. Stop, drop, and roll. Come on. Stop, drop, and roll. Come on. Stop, drop, and roll. Yeah. Stop, drop, and roll.
And I'll stop with the button roll up every weekend with the soldiers. From the kitchen to the club, getting toes up. Right hand on the bottle while my left rolls up. In the weekend, my schedule's hectic. Looking for a party that's full of gangers. The pretty ones, solid, not the melee. But at 5 o'clock, they all look the same when you raise it. Body of a god, there's space some hell. But I'll take it to the hell so she can rock my bells.
Ding dong, somebody let me in. Daddy's home with his next to kin. That's Crop, and that's Float next to him. And we just looking for some messages. Two overweight girls from the south side. Called the bout line, around about 5. Told me we should meet at the mall about 9. They'll be outside, black hair and brown eyes. Cool, this sounds fine, cause damn, you sound fine. Little did I know these chickens were outside. The figures the Alpines and no-oh. So I looked at Scribe and Flo-oh. And they said, let's go. So we gon' stop, drop, and roll.
Who in the household like this shit? No one thought so ride this bitch. And I don't give a damn if my flow gets this. Elevate my skills on the stock, drop, and roll. Remix, Scribe, flows, Decepticons. And we ain't gonna leave till it's dusk till dawn. I took about this bar out south, cause you know we're gonna drink everything on the top shelf. Matter of fact, you're under the table. Before I pull out the Jim Beam label, take a shot, yeah, I bet you can handle. Blah!
Early in the morning, it's all good too. Stop, drop, and roll. And in the evening, it's all good too. Stop, drop, and roll. When the lights go wild, it's all good too. Stop, drop, and roll. 'Cause when we're hot, Decepticons. Stop, drop, and roll.
Let me pelvic thrust it. You can't touch this. Make wish, lights out when I bust this. Careful, ladies, cause I bring the thunder in the rain. I know you wanna ride on the train. Join the party under the blankets. Bounce up and down on the mattress. The ballroom getting plenty of action. 60 seconds of satisfaction. In and out, now I'm back on the prowl. Back for more, back to the local liquor store. Once again, that's me. I'm ready to stop, drop,
I
and
stop,
roll.
drop, and roll up in the club. Getting nothing but love. I'm getting hugs, free drinks, girls slipping me drugs. But I don't do chemicals no more, only the buzz. I'm just gonna skull till I hook up later on with my cuz. We're gonna ride, yo, and get by tonight. Go to another club, set it on Friday night. Some of the boys wanna go down to showgirls, but I don't need to go because I know
I'm
girls.
in the club getting drunk and I'm looking for shaving. Seen this chick and her booty was shaking. I'ma ask her what her name is. She replied, my name is Misbehaving. Hey girl, can I be your slave? Miss me, my nurse, and I'ma be your patient. These Decepticons always say the same shit. Scribe with the set.
So let me you wasted.
Took her by the hand, led her down a back street. Started kissing in my hand on the butt cheek. She whispered in my ear, do you wanna fuck me? My answer was yes. Hell yeah, in the morning, it's all good too. Stop, drop, and roll. And in the evening, it's all good too. Stop, drop, and roll. When the lights go wild, it's all good too. Stop, drop, and roll. 'Cause when we're hot, Decepticons. Stop, drop, and roll. Yeah. Stop, drop, and roll. Come on. Stop, drop, and roll. Come on. Stop, drop, and roll. Yeah. Stop, drop, and roll. Yeah. Stop, drop, and roll. Come on. Stop, drop, and roll. Come on. Stop, drop, and roll. Yeah. Stop, drop, and roll.
Gentlemen, good night. Ladies, good morning.
Yeah, that's Morocco featuring Scribe and Stop, Drop and Roll. 8:07 on the Jays. Adam and Will with you now. You know what's been going down the last few days on the show, Will. The push by Premier Peter Beattie of Queensland to try and get Adam and Will Day declared for this Friday, a national public holiday, or at least a till lunchtime holiday, so people can listen to every second of our last show, which is being performed live at the Manning Bar, University of Sydney. Don't have to be a uni student, don't have to be over 18. It's an all-ages gig. If you can get yourself to Manning Bar at the University of Sydney this Friday from 6 o'clock, we're doing the show. Well, my man Brendan from Brisbane is on the line. How you going, Brendan?
I'm going good, boys. How you going?
Good, thank you, mate. Now, why have you given us a call?
Well, apparently there's a bit of a rumour going around that there could be a bit of a union strike this Friday morning.
What do you do for a living? What union are you involved in?
Mate, I'm in the plumbing section.
Right.
Yes, mate, and apparently the go is from 6 till 9.
All the tradies are out this Friday from 6 till 9.
That's it, mate. It'd be unsafe to work before that.
Okay. plumbers, sparkies,
unsafe conditions, mate.
chippies,
Yeah.
roofers,
That's it, mate.
tilers, fitters, turners, the whole thing.
Bloody oath, mate. We'll keep the rumour going until you know how that ends up.
Sure. It only takes a whisper in the plumbing industry, doesn't it, Brendan?
That's it, mate. You don't have to twist anyone's arm too hard.
Maybe we should have an ANWDO.
Yes.
Just an Adam and Will day off, that's
Exactly, a rostered Adam and Will day.
Exactly.
So you're downing tools for Friday morning, Brendan?
No, bloody oath, mate.
Inspirational, mate. Good on you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
8:09 on the Jays. If anyone else wants not to work on Friday morning from 6 till 9, Will and I promise that we'll only be phoning it in.
Yeah, exactly.
We won't work too hard. In solidarity.
If everyone else gets the day off, I'm not coming in.
Exactly. With Brendan, and
I've got in my contract I don't have to work public holidays.
That might defeat the purpose.
There is one major flaw in this plan. I am not required to work public holidays.
It is 9 past.
So if we get this day declared a public holiday, I'm not coming.
9 past 8 on
My
the just.
God, the irony.
No, but the deal is. No, but.
This is not good.
No, but as
we haven't thought this through, Zoe.
As we know,
there's a fatal flaw in this plan.
No, as we know, the one day of the year where we have to work because it's a public holiday everywhere in the country except Perth is celebrating the Queen's birthday on a different bloody day, and we have to come in.
So
as long as one of the states or territories doesn't go with it, as long as Melville Island goes, no, we're still coming to work, we're in on Friday.
How do you think people would feel if it got declared a public holiday and they rocked up and it was Gabby Brown doing a 4-hour music shift?
It is 10 past 8 on the Jays. Here's the Sleepy Jackson. Dr. Karl versus Professor Will up next.
This will take some time, I know. I just go in slow, I know. You miss my friends more than you ever miss me. If you can't see all the things that go
14 past 8 on the Jays. Fantastic track. Sleepy Jackson and This Day. Let's have a look at episode 20 of the weather. Townsville, some showers and 30. Brisbane, a shower or 2, 25. Newcastle, showers this morning and 21. Sydney, a few showers and 21 degrees. Hobart, fine at 18. Adelaide, fine at 27. Perth, a thundery shower today and 34. Darwin, a storm today and 33. Alice Springs, only about 4 hours by jet from Manning Bar at the University of Sydney, where this Friday Will and I doing our last ever Adam and Will breakfast show. Manning Bar this Friday from 6 o'clock. Get along and say hi. Alice Springs, fine and 33. Melbourne, fine and 20. It's 14 past 8. It's been a week of finals. Here is the final showdown.
His brain is so immense. His knowledge knows no bounds. His is the one mind with which I cannot compete. Australia, strap your loins to your cerebellums. It's time for Professor Will.
Indeed it is. Professor Will is in Dullab. How are you this morning, Professor Will?
I am fine and/or dandy. Thank you, Professor Adam.
And we've got a special guest here, Dr. Karl. How are you this morning, Dr. Karl?
Oh, I'm extra good, thank you.
That is good to hear. Now, you, of course, have voiced the intro for Professor Will's, our segment on the radio where we get the science out to the kids. And your final showdown with Professor Will. How's the relationship been for you over the years? Has it been a rivalry? Has it been a partnership? How do you see you and Professor Will interacting?
A worthy adversary, something of the order of Professor Moriarty. Brilliant but twisted.
I like to think of Dr. Karl and myself more like, remember that group Wham?
Yes.
In the 80s?
Yes.
I'm George Michael, he's Andrew Ridgely.
Oh, okay.
If you know what I'm saying.
Okay, so even on this final ever episode we're throwing down now. Today we're going to talk about your new book, Dr. Karl, Great Myth Conceptions. What's the concept? What's the philosophy behind the book?
Basically, everything you ever believed in is wrong. Desks are dirtier than toilet seats. Low nicotine cigarettes are not. Cellulite happens even in skinny people. Einstein did not fail school. A fan does not cool a room. A total eclipse doesn't make you blind. There's no such thing as an anaesthetic bomb. And Uluru is not the world's largest monolith.
Have you read the book, Professor Will? Are you familiar with Dr. Karl's Great Myth Conceptions?
Well, I'd like to say, do you want to hear this sound? Do you know what this sound is? That's somebody jumping on the bandwagon.
Oh, okay.
If there's anything my entire career has been based on, it's the thought that everything you know is wrong.
Okay.
If there's anything this segment has constantly proved week after week, it is that everything that people think is not actually how it was. And how dare you finally going, well, there goes a shooting star. I'm going to hitch my caravan to that shooting star, Dr. Karl.
Give us an example, if you can, Dr. Karl. What's an example of a myth that you debunk in the book? We'll get your interpretation and see what you think, Professor Will.
Well, people claim that goldfish have no memory and each time they come around the tank, it's all brand new. Hey, there's that little plastic castle. Of course they've got a memory. They've even done experiments to prove it. You've got to have a memory if you're a living creature, because how do you know to avoid the killer kangaroo or cat? You know, you don't sort of get attacked by a cat and then come back a second later and say, hi, Putty. Oh, you tried to do me again. Oh, hi, Putty, and then run away. No, you've got to have a memory.
So the concept that a goldfish only got a 1 or 2 second memory, ridiculous?
They did an experiment where they ran a net up their tank, and the net had a little tiny hole in the middle. And after futzing around a little bit, the goldfish managed to find the little hole and then went through the hole and then managed to get through the other side, and they were okay. One third of their lifetime later, equivalent of 25 years, somebody did the experiment again to the same goldfish, put the same net with the same hole in the middle. This time around, the goldfish went, hey, I've seen that before, zip, straight to the centre. No delay.
That sounds compelling to me, Professor. Well, surely goldfish have memory.
There's one scientific term for that, Professor Adam. Coincidence.
Oh, okay.
Luck of the draw. That's what the scientific term is.
Okay.
Dr. Karl banging on about killer kangaroos. Have you ever seen a kangaroo threaten a goldfish? He's quite clearly drinking something this morning. Goldfish don't have a memory. They did originally have memories.
Right.
It's very simple when they first, because of course, you know, fish, as we all know, is brain food.
Yes.
And fish eat a lot of other fish.
Right.
So fish are entirely made of fish.
Right.
So by their very nature, the brainiest creatures on Earth.
Okay.
However,
fish are the brainiest creatures on Earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they eat fish.
Okay.
And they're made completely of fish, the brain food.
Sure.
It makes sense.
No, it does, doesn't
it? I say it out loud.
Absolutely.
But what happened was, years ago, you hear about a lot on the news, there's these big ecstasy shipments from overseas that come to places like Australia.
From Holland.
Yeah, massive, like hundreds of millions of dollars worth. One was coming towards, the Coast Guard were coming out to this ecstasy shipment. They went, oh my God, we've got to get rid of this stuff. They dumped it all overboard into the ocean.
Okay.
Where it seeped into the system where all the goldfish were.
Into the food chain.
Exactly, living in the ocean.
Okay.
Where the goldfish live.
Sure.
In the ocean.
Sure.
And
I've never seen goldfish in the ocean, but keep going, Professor.
Saltwater goldfish is a rare breed.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why, so all the goldfish got ecstasy into their systems.
Right.
Yeah, exactly, which is why they have those big eyes.
Yeah.
And the little mouths, they go,
Okay.
That's like from sucking a Chupa Chup.
Right.
So they're always drinking.
Yeah.
So they have no memory because ecstasy destroys your memory.
Oh, okay.
And that's why they always constantly want to kiss Rex Hunt.
Really?
Yeah, it's ecstasy in the water system.
Okay.
So there you go, Dr. Karl.
Fairly compelling.
Okay. Give us an example of something else, Professor Will. Is there another story in this book, Dr. Karl's
Well, I
Great
know that
Misconceptions?
Dr. Karl, there's a chapter I was just flipping through about the Bible code.
Ah, yes. No, I've got that. This is analysis of the phonetics and the distribution of vowels and all that in the Bible to find hidden messages. There's some sort of secret code. What's your take on the Bible code, Dr. Karl?
Well, basically, it's very difficult to make predictions, especially about the future. It's fairly easy to make predictions about the past. So you get the phrase, the duck shall fly into the pond at sunset and the ripples shall spread in all directions. The only possible interpretation of that is that a guy called Hitler will set off the Second World War, or alternatively, the guy will have a terrible death in a tunnel in Paris. And in the same way, but then trying to predict the future is no good. And this guy, Michael Drosnin, has applied his Bible code to the Bible and has very successfully predicted a whole bunch of things that have already happened. And then he says, well, go on, guys. And the code is simple. You just pick every 1st, 2nd, 5th, 20th, whatever it is letter, and then you juggle it around, and then you rely on the fact that in the, what do you call a Hebrew language? Hebrew.
Yiddish,
that they don't have a lot of vowels, and you can sort of add them in as you feel. And so he manages to make up a whole bunch of words out of this. And
So jumping every 50th letter, every 500th letter, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and then he challenged somebody to try and find a message about the assassination of a prime minister encoded in Moby Dick. And so an Australian mathematics professor, Professor Brendan McKay from the Australian National University, actually applied the skip code to Moby Dick, and he found many, not just one, but many famous assassinations, including Prime Minister Rabin, John Kennedy, Martin Luther King and Trotsky, none of whom were prime ministers, but nevertheless the principles there.
So you're saying that the whole concept of hidden messages in the Bible is just absolute bunkum?
But there's probably hidden messages, like, for example, Leviticus. I mean, if a woman shall wear clothing of 2 fabrics, such as wool and cotton, she's an abomination and should be killed. There is a code in there. I don't know what it is.
Right, okay. What do you say, Professor? Well, it sounds, again, compelling what Dr. Karl's saying to me.
Oh, sorry, I was just having a tiny little micro-sleep while Dr. Karl's banging on there.
Yes.
There's plenty of messages in the Bible. It's full of them, but the problem is that scientists sometimes just complicate it by going, oh, where are the hidden messages?
Oh, okay.
The messages are there, up front. The meek shall inherit the earth. That was just foretelling John Howard's reign as Prime Minister of Australia.
There you go.
Wow.
Don't covet your neighbour's ass. That was about the Wayne Carey affair in the AFL, and a lady being tempted by the snake in the garden was Matt Shervington's dating life.
Really?
Yeah, that's all just there up front in the Bible.
Oh, okay.
Like, you don't need to look for codes.
Okay.
The only code that's missing from the Bible is the little bit at the start of the book where it says the following story is fictional. Any characters resembling anyone living or alive are completely made up.
Oh, okay. Like have the beginning of Law and Order.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
They're just missing that at the start.
Okay, look, there's only one way to resolve this. I'm going to pick a random chapter here in the book, and I'm going to get both your interpretations of what's going on, and that's going to decide who's really got the grasp on it. Okay, I'm opening up to page 40 of the book. Lemmings suicide. And we've all heard about this, the phenomenon of lemmings running towards the end of the cliff. One jumps off, they all follow. Yeah, that's the idea. That's what you would say is the myth. Dr. Karl, talk us through your taking of lemmings suicide.
Well, back in 1958, Walt Disney released a documentary called White Wilderness. And you have these things called the lemmings. They're little rodent-like creatures. And occasionally you go through a migration where you get a patch of 10 heading across the countryside, maybe 50, maybe a couple of hundred. They don't like to swim much. They sort of wander across and then it's sort of all over. They decided to jazz this up by firstly bunching them all together. And they thought, well, this is really good. How can we make it better? Let's run them off a cliff. So it was totally made up for this movie that they run off a cliff. They put them on a turntable and span them around and then just kept on refilming it over and over again. It looked like they were coming off a cliff. They don't jump off cliffs. They have these minor migrations.
So it was all made up for a Walt Disney film.
White Wilderness, 1958.
That's Dr. Karl's claim, Professor Will.
Next thing you'll be telling us, Dr. Karl, that Hakuna Matata doesn't mean no worries for the rest of your life. What Disney says is true in all cases, Dr. Karl, for a start.
Whoa.
And secondly, the reason that lemmings do go off cliffs together is because lemmings are massive Cure fans, the music of the Cure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, are totally massive Cure fans. You know, Lost in a Forest, the Cure song, actually written about lemmings.
Sure.
The Love Lemmings, that was what the Love Cats was originally going to be called.
Sure.
If you've ever seen raccoons in the wild, they're just lemmings in goth makeup.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, lemmings are massive goths, right?
Okay.
And of course, often if you listen to a lot of, like, they'll just sit around in the forest, like, writing poems.
Sure.
Limericks.
Sure.
That's where they come from. That's right. That's true. They write these poems all the time in
Sure.
just, reflections of life.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you get a little bit depressed.
Oh, okay.
What happens is they get a little bit depressed.
Oh, okay.
They want to top themselves.
And if one does, one in, all in.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
There once was a lemming called Dave,
Mm.
who was quite young and quite brave.
Mm-hmm.
Then one day, feeling stiff, he jumped off a cliff. Serves him right for listening to Nick Cave.
There
That's
you go.
the sort of stuff.
I think that's actually hidden in the Bible. I think you got that from
correct
from the Bible.
Yeah. That's why Dr. Philip Nitschke is now becoming a vet.
Really?
Yeah, he just loves to hang out with lemmings.
I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this, Dr. Karl and Professor.
No, that's not true because some of this is fact.
Right.
And the other is made up propaganda.
In Dr. Karl's book, Great Myth Conceptions.
Exactly.
Where he's at, you're saying...
At least it's in the title.
Yes.
At least it's all there in the title. They're myths.
Professor Will, thank you so much for coming in throughout the year.
No, it's been my pleasure.
All of the years.
I just like to educate the kids,
You do. Dr. Karl, thank you very much for being of assistance again.
As Dr. Karl wrote in the foreword to my book, and I think this is probably the message I'd love to leave.
In the foreword to your book?
Well, to his book
right.
that he left for me.
Okay.
I would like to, I think this is what I'd like to, if there's a message that I can leave the kids of Australia with for what I've taught them over the past 5 years, it's this. To Professor Will, science is like sex. It might have practical results, but that's not why we do it. Best wishes, Dr. Karl.
That does make sense, doesn't it? The more you say it.
The more you say it, the more it makes sense.
Thank you very much, Dr. Karl.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you very much.
Will, Professor Adam.
Professor Will is the Milo. And in my arms on Triple J after 8:30. Whoa! Stuff. Guns N' Roses after 8:30. 28 past 8 on the Jays. Adam and Will with you. That is Milo in My Arms. Just before 9 o'clock, we will play today's Guns N' Roses track. And don't forget, we want a special dedication. What do you want your Guns N' Roses track to be? And give us a story. Don't just ring up and go, welcome to the jungle. It's going to be a story, a reason, a dedication, a bit of history. We will be playing Guns N' Roses before 9 o'clock today. News headlines time.
Dear Santa, Jay and the doctor here.
Daddy's been on holiday for 6 to 10 years without parole.
And Mummy spends too much time at the casino or playing dress-ups with our 6 new uncles.
So you're our only hope for presents this Christmas.
Mummy says we can't afford clothes this year.
Or food.
So can we please have some of the brand new design Triple J t-shirts?
To cover the third-degree burns.
And can we also have the black CD wallet for all our illegally downloaded CDs?
Or the black Triple J calico bag for the head that's in the freezer.
And the new Triple J blue barbecue beach towel to mop up all the blood.
If there's none of that left, I suppose we'll take the Coma FM shirt or the Chaser DVD.
Although that Chardonnay socialist humour just goes over our little heads.
And Santa, can we maybe have a Triple J house?
Or maybe just some Triple J food, please, Santa?
The new Triple J gear, available online and from ABC shops and centres and all good surf shops.
That's funny. That's very funny.
The future's in good hands. 29 past 8.
Hi, Rhianna Patrick with Triple J News headlines. A Central Australian youth organisation has written to the Northern Territory coroner asking for an inquest into 19 deaths it believes are related to petrol sniffing. Federal police have finished their investigation into bribery claims made by independent federal MP Tony Windsor. US Secretary of State Colin Powell says he's confident planned Palestinian elections next year will proceed smoothly. Another man will face a Brisbane court today over the seizure of $4 million worth of ecstasy tablets believed to be bound for schoolies celebrations on the Gold Coast. 3 people have been killed after a private jet which was to pick up former President George Bush crashed in bad weather. And in sport, Queensland will resume at 2 for 195 on day 3 of the game against Western Australia in Perth.
This seizure of $4 million worth of ease going to schoolies is obviously, tragic news for kids like ecstasy, but great news for the manufacturers of lemon rusky.
Isn't it?
Their stocks have just gone through the roof.
Why do they call the whole festival School Ease and then bust you for taking them? You know what I mean? Just call it school beers.
Exactly. These kids have worked so hard in their VCE.
Exactly.
And the HSE.
Very confusing for them.
Unfortunate.
Rhianna Patrick, 29.9 on the Jays.
It's tragic it was really tragic about this news of the 3 people killed in the private jet that was going to pick up George Bush. Tragic it hadn't happened a couple of hours later.
It's about 29 to 9 on the Jays. Now, Rhianna, you've agreed to do the dance off the dance challenge. Can you dance better than Dools? Live at Manning Bar, University of Sydney this Friday.
I reckon he's going to whip my butt.
Yeah?
Really? Because you have one and he doesn't?
You'll have trouble whipping his, I can assure you. We'd like tomorrow, if you can announce around this time tomorrow, the music. The piece of music to which the dance-off shall occur, okay?
Yeah, if we haven't given a think of that.
29.9 on the Jays. Here's Old Man River and Sunshine.
We've been waiting for so long for the sunshine, for the sunshine. We've been waiting for so long for the sunshine to get back. Tell me where is the sunshine? We've been living for so long without sunshine, without sunshine. We've been living for so long without sunshine in our lives. Tell me where is the sunshine? Where is the sunshine gone? We've been waiting for so long for the sunshine, for the sunshine. We've been waiting for so long for the sunshine to get back. Tell me where is the sunshine? Where
is 25-9 on the Jays. Old Man River and Sunshine. Adam and Will with you. We've got our Guns N' Roses track before 9 o'clock. Give us a call and give us a reason why we should play your favourite Guns N' Roses track. Need a request. We need it tied to something that's emotional or thematic or of the moment. 1-800 0536 1-800 0536 if you'd like to hear some Gunners before the end of the show today. 24-9. And now you've said you want to say something.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things. Firstly, I'd like to give a big shout out to Homebrew Harry. Homebrew Harry, who's a listener to our show.
Yes.
Big Homebrew Harry. G'day, mate.
Big hello to Lorna. She's 57 in hospital. Her friend Rosa, who's 52, said Lorna's in hospital in Brisbane. Get well soon, Lorna. Love ya.
Oh, get well soon, Lorna. G'day, Homebrew Harry. But more importantly, g'day to our man Ray. We have Ray on the line who wants to ask you your question, Adam.
How are you, Ray?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks, Adam. Yourself?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Why have you rung the show?
I run the show because there are so many highlights on the show, but my favourite highlight was the Pope Sang Closer by 9 Inch Nails to me, and I was wondering if I could hear that again.
The Pope.
Jeez, I vaguely remember this. Someday
this is why you've bought this bloody CD in.
Yeah, someday for some reason the Pope sang 9 Inch Nails. Can you remember why? I don't even remember why that was.
Well, I'm never here when the Pope's on the radio.
Well, that's a good point.
I'd gone out to get him and he come in. I don't know what he did.
I don't remember what it was. But anyway, it'd be great if we do it again today. Is he here?
Oh, well, I'll just go and check. Thank you very much, Ray. I'll see if we can find the Pope. Yes, good afternoon, good morning. It's evening in the Vatican. How are you?
Good, thanks, Pope.
Why
How are you?
have you got me in here today?
To sing 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I'll see what I can do. This is their track, Closer. I presume it comes with a language warning even when I sing it. It's from 1994. I don't even know if I can remember the words. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You let me violate you. You let me desecrate you. You dirty slut. You let me penetrate you. You let me complicate you. Help me. I'm broke apart my insides. Help me. I've got no soul to... Well, I do have a soul. I have the eternal soul of Jesus alive in me. The only thing that works for me. Help me get away from my language warning. I want to bark you like an animal. I want to feel you from the inside. I want to fuck you like an animal. It does not say this in the book of Deuteronomy. My whole existence is flawed. You get me closer to God. I guess he works in mysterious ways. There you go, Ray. There you go, Will. Can I please go now?
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's 22-9 on Triple J. Thank you, Your Eminence. Here's Estelle. Guns N' Roses before 9 o'clock.
This is out to the ladies and gents trying to do for themselves. They ain't waiting on nobody else. You can say that this life is a laugh, and I will say it's cool, but we're here in the last half. Fix up, be real to yourself. Would you say so for a ring or a belt or a key drugs and the night start blazing? Cause you're heavy and no one can say anything. You're an easy life ain't real. You should go to it right and talk about girls. So think about me and listen yourself. Thinking to people never good for your health. Don't have to kill no one, no have to steal from no one.
Ain't nothing to make a change or two. Nothing to break chains, no you. Here you're spitting about a penthouse view. Nothing change, you're looking up from a penthouse view. Boy, it's something that the boys go through. Yo, steady, this level is what the boys talk do.
Don't think about me and listen yourself.
That's you. You can see what coming through, fresh cut, steady, you're free, you're going up, throw these up. Rossies up, tug a rude boy up. Let's stay on the ground, flat 2 times up. Make your mind up. Never gonna be left behind, down for the core school times. The negative they are, we made with all. It's now hell, make us a solid, we do this for real.
Think about me and listen yourself. Thinking to people
to. Don't have to steal, baby. Let's tell them this. See, we are. Okay. Hold your head high.
It's a doggy dog world and it belongs to the man. There's nothing without the love of a woman. Understand that we're hurting ourselves for no reason than to have what's already yours anyway. If you see somebody, I want you to smile instead of frown. Just because they look angry don't mean they want to beat you down. And it don't cost you nothing, but
let's
you
remember
pay
the
for
struggle.
a gun to kill our sisters and sons.
But on the flip side, see, we are. Baby, you stay blooming. Okay.
It is 18 to 9 on the Jays. Adam and Will with you. Episode 19 of The Weather. Only 3 days and 18 minutes to go of Adam and Will breakfast. 18 more bumper episodes of The Weather after this one. Out of the way. Townsville, some showers and 30 today. Brisbane, a shower or two, 25. Newcastle, showers this morning and 21. Sydney, a few showers, but they can't wash away the sense of excitement of Adam and Will live this Friday morning from the Manning Bar at the University of Sydney from 6, 21 degrees. Canberra dry and 23. Hobart fine at 18. Adelaide fine at 27. Perth a thundery shower today and 34. Darwin a storm today and 33. Alice Springs fine and 33. Melbourne fine and 20 degrees. You remember yesterday, Will, we were talking about the God-given right of people when they leave their work to nick stuff.
Yep.
Just back the truck up, throw it in, and off you go. It's almost expected of you.
Yep.
It's factored in. It's costed into the workplace.
Exactly. No, it's your duty.
Exactly.
It's not just a right, it's a duty.
I think it's enshrined in most workplace awards these days.
I'm taking B1.
Really?
Yep.
Excellent. Well, 17 to 9 on the Jays. Jenny's given us a call. How are you going, Jenny?
I'm not too bad, thanks.
Now, you've rung us on the subject of nicking stuff from work if you were to quit, yes?
I did indeed.
You did?
I did.
Where do you work? What's the gig?
I sell sex toys.
Sex toys?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
Right.
There you go. Is there something vibrating in your bag? No.
And so if you were to quit work,
my lipstick. Don't worry about it.
if you were to quit work, you'd nick some of the stuff, would you?
Oh, I don't know about nick it, but I'd think I'd need a payout. So.
It'd certainly be fun to smuggle out.
Yeah, how would you smuggle it out, Jenny?
Well, there's some of these Japanese love ropes. So,
Japanese love ropes?
Yes, there is some Japanese love ropes.
What's a Japanese love rope?
Well, it's a long piece of rope, basically.
Right.
Sure. But it's red. And...
Japanese.
Yes, it's red. But anyway, it's cool. It comes with a booklet. That's really cool. But my favourite, I reckon I'd have to take.
No offence, Jenny, I didn't really picture in my mind how that Japanese love rope works. It's a red piece of rope, is it?
It is a red piece of rope. You tie it around arms and ankles and structures and things like that.
Sure.
Right, so it's just rope.
Yeah.
You could just do that. You could just go down to mine at 10, really, couldn't you, for that?
How much does this
you
piece
go down
of...
to Bunnings.
How much is
for
this...
your Japanese love rope.
How much does this piece of rope...
It's $30, but it does come with a 16-page colour booklet.
So
on how to tie someone up.
That's right.
Is that booklet...
No, there's a special art to this.
Is that booklet like a series of different knots? Is it like a Boy Scout sheep shank, bowline?
As a scout, you can actually get your Japanese love rope badge.
Really?
It's true.
What else would you nick, Jenny?
My favourite, absolute favourite, could even be like a wall unit ornament or something like that. There's these big glass dildos.
Really?
They're beautiful. They're all
you got to get a glass one.
Sure.
It's classier.
Yeah, well, you can heat them up and you can put them in the freezer, and they're actually dishwasher safe, believe it or not. Try telling that to your mother, but
Can I ask? I can maybe get heating them up, but why do you want to put them in the freezer?
Well, haven't you ever had somebody put some ice on your nipples?
Anyway. Anyway.
Man, you wouldn't want to leave that when the kids are around. Just, Mummy, what's this big popsicle?
The great thing.
Get them to unstack the dishwasher, man.
Well, the great thing about the glass
Do you want me
dildo.
to put the swivel stick in your cocktail?
The great thing about the glass dildo is that if you have some people over for a dinner party, you can use them as sort of candle arrangements too.
Well, that's right. It could be like the centre ornament.
Exactly.
Could you get one with a little hole in the end that you could serve cocktails out of? That would be
you could probably grab the
awesome.
salt and pepper shakers if you wanted to.
Exactly.
Genuine cocktails. I'd like that.
Look, Jenny, thank you very much.
No worries.
I mean, you'd avoid the cream cocktails, more the...
Have yourself a great day.
Good on you, boys. Have a good time after you finish.
Thank you very much. Here's Lior
Could
on
you get
to the
Ice
J.
Cube Benoit balls?
And This Old Love.
That'd work.
Yes, yeah, we're moving on, looking for direction. We've covered much ground. Thinking back to innocence, I can no longer connect. I don't have a heart left to throw around. Oh, and time moves on like a train that disappears into the night sky. Yeah, I still get a sad feeling inside to see the red tail lights wave goodbye. But we'll grow old together. We'll grow old together. And this love will never, this old love will never die. Well, money slips into your hands and then slips out like it was sand. And there's shoes that you can never seem to fill. I've chased so much and lost my way. Maybe a face for every day that so casually slipped me by. Oh, and time moves on like a train that disappears into the night sky. Yeah, I still get a sad feeling inside to see the red tail lights wave goodbye. But we'll grow old together. We'll grow old together. And this love will never, this old love will never die. Morning comes, sometimes with a smile, sometimes with a frown. Yeah, so I never want to worry if you're gonna stay around. So let's grow old together. We'll grow old together. And this love will never, this old love will never die. Yes, yeah, we're moving on, moving right along.
It is 11 to 9 on the Jays. Lior, This Old Love contains the beautiful lyric, love moves on like a train. I can understand that. Unfortunately for me, love moves on like the Brisbane Tilt train. But bangs along for a while, but doesn't always have the best of endings. But we've got Kieran on the line. Kieran, how are you going?
I'm going really well.
That is great to hear. Now, you've rung us on our special request, a Guns N' Roses song for a reason
I have.
competition. What have you got for us? If it's a good enough reason, if we play your Guns N' Roses song, you get one of the limited edition Adam and Will Final Show Ever T-shirts, so fire away.
Okay, my song's Sweet Child of Mine.
Why?
When I was 13, I had a New Year's Eve party and the whole school came. My parents were out on a boat for a holiday.
How many people rocked up to your family house?
Oh, a couple of hundred.
Nice.
And so they got called on the CB radio, called back in, drove the boat back, came back. Cops were at the house, there was pot in the microwave, alcohol and kids everywhere.
What was the pot doing in the microwave? I might be old-fashioned. Oh, being dried out, okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
Year 7 party, did you say?
You're making up a nice little mulled curry.
Who was your teacher, Robert Downey Jr.?
Were you making popcorn? Anyway, Mum and Dad arrived back at the party.
Yeah, and Gunners was playing, and I think that was just the first time they realised that their, 13-year-old girls weren't so sweet anymore.
So Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine was playing as Mum and Dad came back to find pot in the microwave oven at the illegal New Year's Eve party.
Not so sweet child of mine.
That 200 people had turned up to. What are you doing this year for New Year's Eve?
Oh, I got kids now. I'm probably staying home.
Teaching them how to heat up pot in the microwave.
I'll tell you what, Kieran, I'd be keeping... How old are those kids?
6 and 2.
Oh, you got to be careful when they're 6, mate. They're doing all sorts of stuff. Making illegal speed in the bathroom. Let's play Sweet Child of Mine for you, Kieran. You stay on the line, you'll get a T-shirt, okay?
Thanks, Adam.
9 minutes to 9 on the J's. Here we go. Oh, the memories come flooding back. Mum and Dad in the kitchen.
Yep.
Pot in the microwave.
Going on.
Oh, you little bastard. Oh, you'll pay for this. You're grounded until March.
Where do we go now? Where do we go? Oh, where do we go? Where do we go? Oh, where do we go now? Where do we go? Where do we go now?
See, that's the
That's music.
I knew there was one of
there.
them.
That's music.
That's the Guns N' Roses track that finishes with Axl going.
That's music.
I knew there was one of them.
Music,
I knew
that's
there
what
was
it
one
is.
where he just carried the note at the end. Guns N' Roses all this week, but you need a reason like Kieran had. Mum and Dad busting her at the big unlicensed, undisclosed, busting the rules New Year's Eve party.
Tomorrow I'm going to talk about being on Home and Away, and we've got Peter Beattie, Meaty Peter Beattie, on the show to update us on the public holiday.
Here is the Black Keys 10 a.m. automatic for the third last time ever. We say bye-bye.
What about the night makes you change? Oh, from sweet to the range. What about my voice dancing? Who's been wrong to you? You got pain like a nutty. I'm leaving you. You got pain like a nutty. Telling you I'm automatic. I see darkness covers in your car, kicks up down. What about my weight knocks you down? All these words from my mouth. Here we go. You got pain like an addict. I'm leaving you. You got pain like an addict. Tell me I'm automatic.
G'day, Michael Turtle with Triple J News. The incoming Vice-Chancellor of Melbourne University thinks the higher education sector will change completely over the next decade. Glyn Davis thinks there'll be more than 100 universities around the country, many of them private, and
many of them won't look like the universities we're used to. They'll be dedicated to a single industry or a single discipline, so they'll just teach business or they'll just teach film, what they'll be called a university.
Professor Davis thinks less government funding is one of the reasons the sector will change so much. A Central Australian youth organisation's written to the Northern Territory coroner asking for an inquest into 19 deaths it believes are related to petrol sniffing. Sarah Hawke has more.
The Central Australian Youth Link-Up Service says the 19 deaths have occurred since 1998, when the Northern Territory last held an inquiry into a petrol sniffing-related death. Coordinator Tristan Ray says not all the outcomes from that inquiry have been addressed, such as more resources for petrol sniffing programs at Aboriginal outstations. He says an additional inquest would look at why these outcomes haven't been addressed and explore new issues that need to be tackled.
Sydney broadcaster John Laws has gone on air defending free speech the day after rejecting a court order to apologise for breaking homosexual vilification laws. The New South Wales Equal Opportunities Tribunal found he'd breached the Anti-Discrimination Act last year when he made comments about a gay couple on the television program The Block. In his speech this morning that was set to music, he didn't specifically mention yesterday's decision.
We're a free country. We're free to laugh and joke. We're free to tell Irish jokes or Polish jokes or any kind of joke you like. Humour has always been at somebody else's expense. No minority group on the face of the earth can change that ever.
Federal Independent MP Tony Windsor is under more pressure to resign after the federal police decided no charges would be laid over his bribery allegations. He had claimed a businessman offered him a diplomatic post not to run at the last election on behalf of Nationals leader John Anderson and Senator Sandy McDonald. Here's the reaction today from Senator McDonald.
Well, it's a sad thing for them, I would say. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't think that he's going to have very many ministerial doors open to him now.
And finally, a former Aussie Rules champion is walking from Melbourne to Canberra, where he hopes to meet the Prime Minister and discuss the plight of Indigenous people. Michael Long began the journey unannounced after attending a funeral for an Aboriginal friend. The former Essendon player says he's not a political person, but he's concerned the needs of Indigenous people are being overlooked. That's all the news for now. Right across Australia, you're listening to Triple J.
Oh, no!
I want you to be you.
Time to get the hackles up.
Shit out.
Time for an argument. Time to polarise the nation.
I hated it all.
Don't change because you think I might like you to be different.
It was no good. I've had enough. I'm going.
Triple J!
Ow.
Don't make me do that.
Brothers and sisters, do not attempt to adjust your radio. You should be wide awake now. So quit your yawning. Get yourself ready for Mel in the morning.
What do you want with that bitch when you got all the pussy you can handle right here?